Hello?
Hi.
Are we here?
I don't know. It was like the show started and like 3 minutes later the music kicked in. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, I usually wait about a minute before I hit that so I can see once I see the numbers, once I see everybody is actually here, then I hit it.
We get past that first awkward minute.
Yeah. You guys can hear the music okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, for me it was all messed up. I don't know why.
How many years have you been doing this, Johnny?
6.
Good.
At some point, we'll figure it out.
Okay. Well, I've only been doing the music intro thing for like a few months.
Oh.
Just started doing that.
Well, then I rescind my needless criticism.
With the StreamYard.
It's changing, gives you new options every time we have to change a platform, right?
Yeah, I know. And actually, I was looking into another platform today. Actually.
Oh no.
Are
we gonna have to download something?
No. All the happening stuff these days is all it's all cloud based, so it's no downloading, which is very good. But hey, welcome everybody. This is the John BL special, Straturday night.
Welcome.
June 20th of 2020, the year from hell.
Good. Still going. Actually, it is June 21st.
21st.
Oh, for you.
Yeah, on the East Coast. It's the
happy
21st.
Late birthday, Michael Anthony.
Happy Father's Day, John, although you don't have any kids that you know of.
Well, no, I don't. Well, happy Father's Day to all those fathers out there.
I'm sure
we don't know if Johnny has any kids. That's another mystery.
We don't know shit about Johnny, is what we don't know.
I'm afraid of one showing up, one day.
They're somewhere in the chat. Just say hi. If you're in the chat, say hi to your
I've missed my opportunity when he was alive. I should have tracked down Ernest Borgnine, who was McHale from McHale's Navy. I just knocked on his door.
I remember him from Airwolf was the only thing.
Airwolf, yeah,
and he was also
and then later, yeah.
But before I got my teeth fixed, when I was a kid, I had that space.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So I really looked like Ernest Borgnine's kid. Like everybody's like, "Hey man, your father's Commander McHale." I'm like, I know, I've heard that before. I missed my opportunity.
Yeah. Well, next time.
Yes. In another life. My old man was an asshole. So Father's Day is great for me. My stepfather was great, but my real father was a fucking dickhead. So we'll just leave it at that, and that'll be the last F-bomb I drop on the show tonight, because I know we're trying to keep the show family friendly.
Yes. Yeah, I'm getting messages from YouTube saying
you guys just dropped out for a second. Am I still in sync? Is everything all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because everything went frozen for a second. I just stood there because I think I had like a decent face, and it didn't look like I was like, awkward or anything.
Let's see.
That's always the way that happens when it freezes on you and you look like.
Now, are you freeze framing a video on your screen tonight?
Solo and. What's that?
Are you freeze framing a video on your other monitor there?
Yeah, it's a screenshot from. We all know what that moment is.
Yes, we do.
Live Without a Net.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
Yeah,
what makes it such a great video. Part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what makes it a great video.
It is
not the incessant quoting of the backstage stuff.
You'd never heard anything from backstage in Live Without a Net.
I know.
It was all. I mean, the Unleashed stuff.
No, he's talking about us. He's talking about me and Jay quoting the MTV stuff.
The MTV
right,
special.
The Unleashed stuff.
And by the way, on Unleashed, they do use footage from Live Without a Net.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to get into the where they use all the footage from?
No, I don't.
Places?
Really. No, because I feel I don't even see any need to do that, because we'll eventually get there before the show's over.
Well, that's right too. Yeah, we will.
Yeah,
definitely.
We have this tendency to find our way there at some point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, hey, before we begin, oh man, I can't even talk.
Do we have to thank our channel producers and all that stuff?
Yes. Here on YouTube, we're live on YouTube and on Facebook.
Just barely
right now. But yeah, I know.
Hello, Facebook.
I know, just barely. There's there's no point in even being live on Facebook. But over here on YouTube,
thanks to everybody that loves Facebook. I'm sure they're really appreciative of that.
yeah. No, nobody. We get like 3 people on Facebook, and that's it. I can share the video to like 20 different places. Like 3 people are there.
Well, I'm going to share it right now so that maybe we'll get
a little while ago. So.
Awesome. Yeah, I still have to share it, but if you're over here on YouTube, you can become a channel member. Click the join button below, and you get perks. You get exclusive content. You get early videos. You get a little guitar next to your avatar. You get your avatar. Your name is green in the chat.
You get a guitar avatar.
So your guitar avatar, so you stand out. And our top level channel members are executive producers like Charles Green, Joe Christian, Music Therapy Laz, David Ennis, Thomas Santiago, Mike Neese, Connor Johnson, 5150, Michael Smith, who we should see in about 10 minutes, Some Dave Dude, and Steve Carmichael.
Steve Carmichael.
I know that guy.
There's Thomas. Oh, there's Steve. I see you guys. There's Mike Neese.
Yeah, all those people with green on their names in the chat. They're the producers. They're our boss.
They're the channel members.
Channel members, yeah.
Channel members, but the top tier of being a channel member, you become an executive producer, and you get your name mentioned in the beginning, and everybody gets their names in the end, though. Everybody gets it in the end.
Wait, what? Now, I was the one that said that this thing was going to stay family friendly, and I was wrong.
Oh,
I don't think you crossed any lines there.
No, that's not a bad word. What else? This is a podcast, although I'm like a week behind. It takes me about an hour to do each episode.
There's a joke there somewhere too.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
I let it go too, John. I just said, you know what? Not worth it.
Yeah, but the show is a podcast as well, and you guys can subscribe to all the different podcasting platforms such as Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, TuneIn, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio. What else? Google Podcasts.
Stupefy.
You want to hear something? You want to feel old? Disturbed they're planning the 20th anniversary of the Sickness tour. That means that Disturbed have been around for a generation.
Yeah.
How scary is that?
I think I did a show with them on one of their first tours back in, I have it passed there somewhere.
Yeah.
Had to have been 2000. If it's been 20 years, yeah, 2000, I
used to refer to Disturbed as dance beats and the monkey sound.
There might be
everything is
a video on Disturbed. Oh yeah.
All the Disturbed songs, if you listen to the good ones, they have that.
Well, yeah, it was the era of crossover between techno and
yeah,
techno metal,
Yeah.
Rap metal, techno metal. Yeah.
Crap.
Never really appealed to me.
It's crap.
Watching what was it, Woodstock 99, and I was just getting frustrated watching, Limp Bizkit and who else was it? There was a couple of good performances.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
They brought the energy, but it was like
there's something fun about
played,
listening to those shitty Limp Bizkit songs, though. There's just something
I liked.
when you hear Rollin' or you hear Break Stuff or something. I mean, those songs, they're good songs. Say what you will about. The problem with that band was that band. It wasn't the music. It's Limp Bizkit was the 90s and early 2000s version of Quiet Riot, which was the band was pretty good, but the lead singer was such a douchebag that you went
right.
And same thing happened to Creed. Creed is not a bad band. Creed just was so pompous and arrogant that you just you were turned off by them.
I don't know. I never got that that vibe from Creed. I definitely Limp Bizkit put that out there.
Oh, absolutely.
Or even like a couple who was not. I mean, Rage Against the Machine. They had their own thing, and they were another one that actually had a pretty good performance on.
Oh yeah, I think they're awesome.
Rage Against the Machine is a brilliant band.
I liked Audio Slave too. When Chris Cornell,
like Kid Rock. When that came out, and the Limp Bizkit, the Kid Rock, and I don't know, there's a couple others that were along that. I couldn't get into that. The Corn and the Corn and
the Corn. Well, we started playing Corn at WAAF, which was a radio station I used to work at in Boston. That's not there anymore. That's for people that don't know who they are, John BL. And we started playing Corn's Blind as a goof because we were like, oh my God, what is this? And all of a sudden people went nuts. They were all about it. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. And they went all about it, but they were certainly not the best of that genre. I mean, Rage Against the Machine by far is to that genre what Metallica is to thrash. And I mean, they are the greatest of
ones that didn't get enough credit, but or that were, flew under the radar for whatever reason.
And then I would say Seven Dust is the second best of that group, and they were fantastic at Woodstock too, at the Woodstock 99.
And they were another one that came through Hampton every year, and they always put on Stained. I liked Stained, not that they were all in the same kind of genre, but
Stained was more mope rock to me.
Yeah,
Stained was more. It was. I put Stained in the same category with Chevelle, which is like bands that weren't quite.
I put Creed in. Creed is kind of mope rock.
Creed is kind of mope rock. Creed is what would happen if Jesus decided to join Pearl Jam.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's got the Eddie Vedder vibe, definitely.
Oh yeah. But you go back, Silverchair is another band. Mike Neese brings up Silverchair, another band from that sort of era of
that was
rock.
They were like teenagers, weren't they? Was that?
Yeah, they were grunge Hanson.
That's right. I liked them. I liked their hit, whatever their hit was. I can't remember it to this day, but
Tomorrow
was
their
a good
hit.
song. Yeah,
I remember they had a couple of they had 3 songs off that first record. There was Tomorrow, Pure Massacre, and Israel's Son. And I remember I worked at WAAF when that was out too, and I would backsell, which is when you announce the name of the song as I am Israel's Son I am. I do not like green eggs and ham. Israel's Son I am, because that was the hook of the song was I am Israel's Son I am at the end of the song. And that record was actually pretty good. It was pretty good. But I mean, bands like Rage Against the Machine, Seven Dust, and yes, Limp Bizkit. Limp Bizkit was a damn good band with a complete douchebag lead singer. But they wrote some really good songs. If you go out and it sucks because you don't want to admit that, but that's a guilty pleasure band. They're like Nickelback.
I did monitors for them. They came through Hampton on one of their first tours. I did monitors for them.
Yeah, they're like Nickelback. Nobody wants to admit they like them. So one guy must own 45 million copies of their albums in their basement, or somebody's lying.
I don't admit any of that. Hey, Jay.
Jay Hannon, 7/8.
Jay Hannon, everybody. Your microphone's off.
Cheers. No.
Jay is playing with us.
Wait, can we hear? How does the background noise, Johnny? I know there was some issues last night.
That was Nesdal. That was not us.
Everything sound all right?
Oh, everything's fine, man. Good. Yeah, that wasn't us at all.
Yeah, I don't. He's using the same mic that Jay's using, isn't he? No, he's using a different.
He upgraded his system.
Yeah, I saw the picture on Facebook with the pedal board that surrounds the laptop.
I saw that, yeah. Nice setup. Hey, that's cool, man.
That's like, right? It's like, oh, I need some more distortion.
I guess it's easier. I guess if you're using your laptop for a studio, you have all your pedals around the laptop and then you bang them up, I mean.
Well, actually, I think it was David Gilmour always had his pedals where he could use them with his hands, I think. Or at least he had like a backup set that he could use with his hands. Yeah.
I would say, in the studio, it's actually better to have the pedal up above so you can adjust it, on the fly.
Definitely.
The only pedal that'll be on the ground, usually like the wah pedal,
But you don't want to print any of that stuff, though. I mean, not always.
Well, print the wah.
Yeah, you can print the wah, but like other stuff.
You have to print the wah, sure.
These days. just play super clean and then throw anything on top of it.
Post, yeah. Everything is just post now.
Hey, real quick, I wanted to show something tonight, but since he's in here in the chat, we might as well show it now. David Scher did a hollow flash Kramer. And
I did see that.
Wow.
It looks amazing. Looks great.
Awesome.
You want me to pull it up on my
Hollow
phone real
Flash
fast?
Creamer. Nice.
Yeah, he put up some pictures of it on Facebook, and it looked really good.
Here, I'll jump back in over here and I can show it.
I think it looked great.
Where is it?
How would you do that?
David
Facebook?
Scher, his Facebook page. I'm sure he might have posted it somewhere else, but I definitely know I saw it on his just on
Yeah, I
my
saw it on
wall
Facebook.
from his page. Yeah.
Well, what exactly is Hollow Flash? I think of like almost like the 5150 logo or decal.
Yeah,
It's like, you remember Upper Deck? Remember Upper Deck baseball cards?
Vaguely, yeah.
They came with those
Hologram,
holographic
okay.
stickers of each team
Sure.
in each pack, and it's virtually that, which is really
All right.
neat.
It looks like it's kind of like a 3D effect, but with multicolors and yeah.
Cool.
Metal Soda with a Pulse Ultra reference. Nice job.
Oh my God, when was the last time I heard that band name?
I used
Holy
to play
crap.
them when I worked in Sacramento. It was a
Man.
good record. There's a record called Headspace. I think that was the name of the album, was Headspace. Hang on, I bet I have it.
Speaking of wah pedals, people are talking about Kirk Hammett. You ever see that picture of him walking out of some store
Yeah.
and his shoes are replaced with wah pedals?
Yeah.
Oh, that one,
Kirk
that's
Hammett
one of those
meme.
ones that got me. I saw that and then like you think it's funny and then like you close it or something and you start thinking about it again and you're like, here we go.
Here you go, Jay. There's your Pulse Ultra.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I don't remember what the album cover looked like, but
Yeah, I don't.
You can
remember
tell
anything about
it's
that.
a promo copy of the album because nobody bought it.
It's not even open, right?
Oh no, it's open. It's actually a pretty good record. It's more
when
like
was that?
emo tool.
Late 90s or so.
No, this is early 2000s. This is going to say
Okay.
2003, 2004, maybe before that, 2002, something like that. And you guys are catching my beautiful Arizona tan today.
yeah, look at those arms, man.
being out on the motorcycle.
Man.
That's 2 hours on a motorcycle this morning.
Where'd you go?
We did an event where we gave away dog booties in a parking lot because no store will allow us in right now. Everything's social distancing.
Gotcha.
Well, hey, David Scher. There's a guitar.
Very cool.
Nice. Yeah, so that's Hollow Flash is what that is, and the different angles of it, you get the different colors.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how do you create that?
Is it a specific paint, I'm guessing, or maybe a specific way you
I
put
would
it
say
on?
it's a specific mixture of paint or paints. I would think.
You just put your guitar under a Christmas tree for a few months and it
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Yeah, it's almost like a reflection of Christmas tree lights.
Jack Frost.
Oh, is Nerd
cool.
Nerd Halen? Caleb says that it was 109 today, so I'm assuming he's in Tempe. He's made it to Tempe because outside my truck said 112 when I went out to it this morning.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so it's been a rough couple of days here. It's hot.
It's been in the
Arizona. It's gonna
90s
be hot
here
It's a
again.
little warm.
Yeah,
Awesome. Well, awesome job, David Scher.
that thing is awesome.
Nice.
And now is that already clear coated? Is it all done?
I believe so, yeah. I think he painted it yesterday and did the other stuff today or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I saw it yesterday. He didn't have any strings or the neck on it. He was just showing off the body. So
What
so
body
that's-
is that? A Beretta body or what is that?
looks like it.
Yeah, it must be.
It looks like a Beretta.
Nice, man.
Very nice.
That's the thing. Good call.
Speaking of, and somebody wanted to see my guitar as well. While we're on guitars now, let's get guitars over with.
Yeah.
So we can start quoting Unleashed again.
Oh. Well, Phil Collins.
That's it.
By
Ringo?
May,
I thought he was Dale.
number of people. Noise with Namis said Jay 7/8. Show your guitar. So here's the one I'm holding. Let's say 2019 Ibanez. I forget the model number.
Wait, there's 7 strings on that thing.
What?
Oh my goodness.
Who put that on?
What?
So anyway, I bought a I'm not a huge fan of the Ibanez logo without the whatever the hell, the check mark or whatever the hell you want to call that
The
thing.
chevron.
I'm not going to call it that either.
Well, you don't even call it a Banez, so yeah.
Yeah. So I bought a hot pink decal and put it on myself underneath it. And these are bare knuckle pickups instead of the stock. DiMarzio PAF 7s, I think they're called. They weren't very good.
I don't know if they're. Are you talking about the Infinity Sevens?
No, they're the
No.
PAF
'Cause
7.
those are, yeah, those the Infinity Sevens are proprietary Ibanez pickup that they stocked in some of the non-gem guitars or non. What's the fucking
The dual stock.
the 7-string gem? The 7-string gem
The universe.
universes, yeah.
And Noise for Nami, if you look at the serial number, dude.
0.
Yeah. So F is the factory in Japan that they're made in.
Fujijin.
Fujijin. One time I called it what did I call it on here? Why are we echoing now?
I don't know.
19 is the year, and then I called Ibanez about the serial number. And they said, yeah, they pulled up when it was made and whatever. But yeah, it's an awesome guitar, man. I love it. It's killer. As
Nice.
What did they say about the serial
Killer.
number? It's
well, when I said
not
it's all,
necessarily the original, or not necessarily the first out of the batch, or
when he
but-
said
It wouldn't be anything if it's 0. It wouldn't be the first because.
well, when I said it when it's all zeros,
right.
he
I
said
think it's a prototype.
he goes because I said I'm calling up to see if maybe the guitar is either a prototype or maybe it's a fake. I don't know, like laughing about it. And I said, he's like, what's the serial number? I was like, it's all zeros. He's like, well, then it's probably fake. And I was like, no, it's F19000. So he's like, oh, okay. He said it was all zeros. I was like, so he typed it in the system and he told me like, some details and stuff. He's like, yeah, it's real. I was like, but is it like the prototype one? He's like, no, it wasn't. I was like, damn.
Either way, that's a cool serial.
Still a cool
number.
serial number, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very cool. I mean, I could say I got before the first one, like Johnny said, off the line, man.
For those of us that care, like Steve Anderson, and
Yeah.
honestly, I've never looked at serial numbers, but I've never had to,
I always
brand
do
new,
for some. I don't know why.
I did
But
it
the
with
action, the action on this thing, as I drop it,
My,
and look at that,
what
that's
action?
pretty good.
and then flip it. It's friggin' awesome. So
That's
yeah,
nice.
it's a great
The
guitar.
only
Man.
time I
Love the color scheme too.
Well, it definitely looks cool. Like for some reason, it doesn't pick up the neon in this. It just looks like a yellow guitar, a light yellow guitar, but it actually is like super neon, like street sign neon yellow. But I recommend it, man.
Damn it. I'm John Biel tonight.
That's why I just shut up. Try and just shut up until.
I was just saying the only time I paid attention to a serial number is when I got those GJ2, the green meanies, because I was able to pick up 2 of them in sequence. So I have 28 and 29 of only, I think, 36 made.
Wow.
So to have 028 and 029 sequentially, to find them randomly within like 2 weeks of each other, I was like, oh shit, I got to buy 2 of them now, just because I've never done that before. And plus, that was when I was going through my I bought way too many guitars in too short a time period. None of which I can play.
That was like, remember the movie Contact?
Yeah.
Jodie
No.
Foster. Why make
Oh,
two?
yeah, okay.
Why
I
make
know.
one when you can make 2? And they
Yeah.
blow up the first whole space station and everything, and then that was like the biggest, fu to the audience. They blow up the whole first space station. And they're like, oh, we built another one. I don't.
Well, it's like the second Death Star. Now we're gonna nerd out. We got Johnny's attention.
There you go. I've been watching the actually, let's see, I have it here. The Blu-ray, the special features of the original trilogy, and it's like 5 hours of just, it goes from everything from like the old documentaries
of everything, or just that one movie.
Well, it goes in order from the first New Hope to Empire and then Return of the Jedi, but it's like 5 hours of all three of those.
5 hours. So is it more than what's on like the regular DVD version? Because I bought the.
It's the Blu-ray. It's the Blu-ray.
Okay. So it's probably extra stuff then.
There's a lot of like cut scenes. There's a lot of they have like the Boba Fett cartoon, the very first one from the holiday special. It's random, like, and then they'll have like a documentary part, and then they'll have an interview. Then they'll have. It's really cool the way they pace it. And then I've only gotten through to like The Empire Strikes Back, so I've yet to watch Jedi.
Here comes a great question for Jay. Riley Morgan asks, "How do I start a band?"
I saw that. Riley, how old are you? Is that a serious question?
Well, yeah, it does depend. If you're our age and you want to start a band, it shouldn't be.
First, you have to find a girl you're attracted to, because that's how it all starts.
Inspiration.
A band of what?
that's
an actual musical band. You're 15.
Okay, so he's serious then.
Do you play anything?
You've actually got a chance at 15. We don't really have a chance anymore.
That's when I started. I started playing guitar on my 15th birthday. So that's perfect. Riley, do you play guitar? I'm assuming because he's watching a bunch of guys who play guitar.
I think he does. I think he does. Well, these days it's kind of weird, because
sounds like a sound effect being punched in, doesn't it?
You could see her though, right? She's like, she never makes a sound for this show. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, someone's just gotten decided she's all right. That's it. She's barked twice. She's pooped.
But
she's had enough.
It sounded like John Biel had a soundboard back there.
Yeah, no, she's just that's the silent dog Lemmy, who you never hear from because Ace spends all of his time. And she just came in and she barked a couple of times. She's like, "Fucking, I'm here." There's my F-bomb. Sorry about that.
Well, I hopefully I marked the video. What do you call it? We were talking about this last night, Jay. I marked it. So YouTube is at the point now where you have to mark the videos. Otherwise, if you don't, you can get in trouble. If you don't mark them,
mark them.
Mark them.
Yeah, if you don't make it mature, you're saying so. If they tell you have to do it, and you don't do it, and it's a mature video, you can get blasted.
You can get in trouble.
Because a kid will pull it up on accident and
pull it out.
Yeah.
Well, plus they don't promote.
That makes sense. Yeah. Exactly.
So it's like Mancuda wonders why the Tuesday night show isn't getting as many views as it used to. It's because there's more F-bombs and there's more stupid stuff.
Wait a second. So, but Tuesday has the highest live viewer count. Am I right?
It's a toss-up. It's a toss-up between Tuesday and Saturday. It kind of goes back and forth. But yeah, Tuesday has the highest live viewer count.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the playback. It's the playback. Like the more weird stuff there is, the more YouTube won't promote it. Meaning, if you look next to Jean Biel there, you'll see a strip of videos. And the more a video gets dinged,
he has stripper videos over there.
Yeah, man, used to me
on Blu-ray. But yeah, in those videos right there,
Oh God, I get you.
On YouTube itself, those videos, those are videos that are being promoted to you based on your history of what you watch. It's different for everybody on everybody's channel.
So anyway, I'll answer the question. If you play guitar, if you play guitar, dedicate as much time as you reasonably can to practicing as much as you can. Find one other person with whom you share the same sort of musical interests and ideas and jam with them for a while. And then when you both have an idea, find 2 other people. That's kind of how you start a band. There's no, if you try to do it or join a band that exists or something like that, that's for way down the line. But if you're an experienced player, you can do that. But if you're just starting out, find somebody else to jam with, and then just jam and learn songs and hang out and stuff like that. And then find another person and grow it organically, because chemistry is something that I think is way more important than musicianship in a band. And I'm sure to be somebody else may contradict that point. But if you can't get along with 2 or 3 other people, or even 4, if there's 5 people in the band, if you can't get along with those 4 people, you're wasting your time. And the last thing you want to do is put in 6 months of practice and all this stuff and find out you hate these guys. And you know what I mean? So I would say find some friends that have similar views for, similar musical interests to you, and then just start hanging out and jam.
But also look at a lot of guitarists like Eddie Van Halen, who spent all those hours just alone in his room. I mean, he had his brother, who was probably, his biggest, partner in it all. But there was a lot of, stories of guitarists who were just sitting in their room and just practicing. I mean, that's another route you could almost go. Somebody like a Steve Vai or Joe Sart. I mean, they've obviously spent the time alone, just going through every rudiment and doing it. But there's the next benefit of playing with another, especially.
But that's a different story, though. That's becoming proficient at your instrument. That's becoming proficient at your instrument.
Oh yeah, and that's like aside from creating a band. Yeah, you want.
He's asking about creating a band. He's
playing an instrument and forming a band are two. It actually has nothing to do with each other.
All right.
Forming a band is being able to.
I did it all at the same time.
Being able to work with other people.
Work for me in any form. So
being able to get along with others. And actually, you really don't even have to get along with them. And look at David Lee Roth and Van Halen.
Well, hold on a second.
But you do.
Good.
But you do.
Hold on a second. If you don't get along with somebody before money starts coming and popularity, it'll totally fall apart after. And I'm not saying you have to be best friends, but
so difficult. You've heard the phrase. I don't know if anybody has heard the phrase in any other skill, but you can't serve 2 masters. You want to be in a band, you're not going to have time for a girlfriend. You just don't have time for both. If you're going to do it, if you're serious about starting
she's into
a band,
it too, if she's a groupie and all that,
Yeah, if you're serious about starting a band, understand that the band and your girlfriend have to remain mutually exclusive endeavors. And the minute you start paying too much attention to your girlfriend, the other guys in the band are going to resent you for it. They'll use it as a weapon against you.
And the other way around.
You got to keep those things separate. If you're thinking about doing this,
like in the Beatles,
profession.
Yoko.
Hey, Michael.
Oh, hi.
Michael.
Welcome, Michael Smith, everyone.
It's the captain.
Hello, everybody.
It's in port.
How you doing?
What level are you on now over the Discord, man? Level 3.
And the what?
In the Discord.
Discord jail or
in the Discord? No. The Discord actually. I have a new bot.
Levels.
I have a new bot over there. Yeah, I was trying to tell you that earlier. I've got a new bot.
I didn't understand what it was all about.
Called Me6. And the more you interact with other people, the more you post over there, you level up and up and up, and he's on level 3 now.
All right.
This has a Dungeons and Dragons connotation to it.
Yeah, and actually Michael has his own room now in the Discord. There's a Michael Smith posts section in the Discord.
We gotta talk about that, because if you want me to go hog wild in there, I will.
Oh, definitely, man. Definitely.
Oh, really?
Go hog wild. Go hog wild.
You have
I think isn't it more difficult to get kicked out of Discord than Facebook? You've already been in Facebook jail.
We'll find out. I have no idea.
Yeah, there is no Discord jail.
Okay,
so you can do whatever you want over there.
All right. Yeah, because my next time I get knocked out of Facebook, that's for 7 days, like I was telling you last night, and then after that, it's a fucking month.
Dude, but that post
expelled eventually.
That post that you posted with your new keyboard.
Yeah.
You saw that?
Yeah, I saw that one. That was a good one.
I sent that around to a bunch of friends, and everyone. Usually, you send something to somebody, and if they don't think it's funny, they won't respond. Everyone I sent it to responded.
Someone's gonna make that for real. I'm sure that's out there for real.
I'm gonna find that and show that. That's so funny.
Well,
hello, everybody in the chat room, by the way.
is Riley Morgan still in here? Because I don't want to talk about this too much.
He's here. He's here every time.
Okay. So I'll tell you guys a funny story about getting along with your band and stuff like that. Like when I started playing guitar, my best friend started playing drums like right after. So we obviously started a band together. And then we ended up getting a bass player and stuff and playing. And then I had to kick my best friend out of our band.
Yeah.
Because of his girlfriend. And it was one of those things like, you know, we're getting serious about playing and you know, it was cool. So our main thing was like every Sunday, no matter how many times we'd like jam after school during the week or whatever, Sunday was always the day we get together. We hang out for like 4 hours, band practice, pizza, whatever. Right. It was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So like every week his girlfriend is showing up. Because the way the house was or the jam room that we had right out the window was like the front of the house. And her stupid friggin' white car every goddamn Sunday would pull up, you know, jam for like 40 minutes, an hour or whatever.
Okay.
She shows up. All right, guys, so-and-so is here. I'm not going to say her name on here. So-and-so is here. Got to split. And me and Chris will be standing there like, what the hell?
Oh, so as soon as she shows up, he has to leave.
Gone.
She's not
He's
showing
out
up
of there.
to like
Out
watch. Oh, I thought she'd like coming to watch the rehearsal or something. I was like,
No.
Oh man.
So it
Oh, I
got to the
get-
point
yeah.
where like we ended up we had a singer and stuff, and we were doing like the whole like talent show and battle of the bands at the school and crushing all that shit. So it got to the point where like we told him, like Anthony,
Tony.
you know, so well,
I said
whatever.
Tony.
Yo, Tony.
Hey, we told him like, dude, you know,
Tony,
you
want
got to
Caps can say his name? Do what I'm telling you to do, all right?
yeah. So we told him like, dude, Sunday is our day to have band practice, man. That's our day. Dude, the next Sunday,
No.
half hour into it,
Oh
she
my
pulls up that piece of shit white car, pulls right up, and he's like, "All right, guys, Christy's here. I gotta go."
That was the worst part about it. You all probably
Glad you
saw
didn't
her
say her
coming,
name.
pulling in there.
I didn't. I just said her name.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Oh
Bitch! God damn it!
no, you said her
Kristen was
Her
it?
stage name.
you said her last
Allison?
name, so you can keep saying it.
I
Okay.
could have swore I heard a social, but go ahead.
Holly. Holly.
Her social security number. Yeah. So, and then I think right before this all happened, we had a show. It wasn't anything big. It was like I don't know if it was at a bar or a backyard party. It was something. He canceled that show, and you know everybody knows in high school, like when you have a show, no matter if it's at the pub at 4 p.m. on a Wednesday,
Sure.
you're it's like you're playing Wembley Stadium.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Everybody knows that feeling when you're, you know.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it was either a party or playing some you know, one of our friends' parents' bars or some shit. And he friggin', hey guys, I'm going camping that weekend. I can't play that show. And it was just like, but that's the thing you end up dealing with a lot of people. You find somebody that you're either friends with, and that happens, and you have to like tell them like, hey, we gotta.
That's all I remember from the bands that I've been in was just the constant fighting, just the constant like,
Mhm.
oh, we can't come to rehearsal or girlfriends or something.
That's the thing too, though, is you don't want to. I've been in 2 bands where 2 of the members were involved.
Oh, never ends well, right?
That never works out. That never
Well,
works
I can't
out.
imagine that works out.
As a rule of thumb, we had this. It was
Rule of
band.
thumbkin.
Yeah. The band, girlfriends, ex-girlfriends, anything like that. If any guy in the band had dated or hooked up with any girl, she was off limits to everybody else in the band. That was just the rule of thumb. Whether or not it was a hookup one night at a club or it was somebody that you dated in high school and she came around and stuff like that, because it's like conquer
Ideally.
ground deal. Yeah, you just can't do it. We did.
Well, how many?
We had,
yeah.
as far as what Jay was talking about,
How
the
many
social
times did it
thing,
not work out?
it never works out.
Right.
We
No.
would rehearse 4 nights a week. Seriously, 4 nights a week. It was just the 5 of us, and then on the 5th night,
There we
it
go.
was like jam night, and anybody could come up. and do our thing. And it always ended up
to fill in for
I can't make it.
For the missing members of the band, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
it never worked out. And to the point where one of our guitar players' girlfriend at the time made a pass at another member of the band, and I'm not going to mention
Made a
names
pass.
like
What are
Jay
you,
did.
80?
Made a pass.
Made a
All right.
pass. He made a pass at another
Yeah.
woman.
He asked if
All
she
right,
would go steady.
I was trying to make
steady with me.
I was trying to make
Here's
it
my
different,
ring.
but here we are. We went and saw a Zeppelin tribute band called Physical Graffiti, because of course, why wouldn't they be
Great
called
band.
that?
Yeah. Great band, by the way.
Yeah, coming back from this place in Framingham, it was called Chevy's, and my guitar player's girlfriend at the time tried to blow me in the parking lot, and so
She tried to blow me in the parking lot.
she tried to blow me in the parking lot. So I, being the stand-up guy that I am, didn't stand up because I couldn't. But being the stand-up guy that I am, rebuffed her advances. No, ma'am, you shall have none of this. And the next day, I'm sitting in the house, and the other band members are there, and I'm like, look, I gotta tell them. I can't tell them. I'm like, this girl is an absolute, and I'm dropping every expletive I can. See, Johnny, I do care about the show, and I want to make sure it's suitable for children. But I'm calling her.
No, it's
every
not.
name in the book.
Talking about
It's not at all.
right?
That's the other thing.
I tried. So I'm calling her every name in the book, and I'm sitting there in my drinking wheelchair, which was literally a wheelchair that I would sit in while we were drinking. And all of a sudden, the room got quiet.
Where is that now?
The room got quiet, and I just went, "He's behind me, isn't he?" And everybody goes,
Oh.
and I went, "And she's with him, isn't she?" And they went. So I just took my drink, and I went, "What am I going to do to get out of this one? I'm done." And we didn't speak for probably 7 years after that. Until after he found out she was meeting guys in parking lots that she met on AOL.
Yeah.
He ended up marrying this girl. And years later, she was meeting guys in parking lots in New Jersey. So maybe Michael.
That was her thing.
That was her.
And then I married her and divorced. And divorced.
What up?
What's happening?
Hey, nice.
Let's
nice
welcome
room, man.
Caleb and Nerd Halen in the house.
I'm in Johnny's room. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, we're actually sitting right next to each other.
Johnny's house. Yeah.
Actually, we're
That's
Yeah.
so
How
fun.
does that work? That's like kind of strange. And
Johnny's
Caleb's got
sitting
his own
Caleb's
stream
lap
yard
right now.
too.
yeah. Look at that.
That's nice.
Yeah, become a member.
How awesome is that?
You too can.
It'll only be
Johnny.
better. It'll get better if Ned makes an appearance.
Yeah,
Caleb, the
Yeah.
mic's behind you. You got to get in front of the mic.
I know.
Get in front of the mic. There you go. That's
Huge.
it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, David Lee Roth's gonna ride this thing out, right?
Yeah. That's some pipe you got there.
That's what she said.
You got the Johnny Bean sticker on it.
What's up, everybody in the chat?
Never mind.
So good luck with your band.
It's just I think Paul said organically is
Don't get
the best,
discouraged from what we're saying.
is really the kind of best way to go about it. Don't force anything. I mean, back, when me and the drummer Anthony were looking for, to play with guys and shit. That sounds weird.
Hey.
But we put
There are
an
rest
ad.
stops in New Jersey that I think is where those things take place.
We put an ad in
No
the
judgment.
paper.
No judgment.
We put an ad in the paper, and I think it was only one call, and it was from some older guy that was like in his like 30s or something. And at the time, I'm like 15 or 16.
Whoa.
And I got this call, and I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. That's weird. I can't. So
He didn't pull up in a van, did he?
no.
Probably.
Oh, okay.
But I think when you're in high school and stuff, like in junior high, and you're starting to play an instrument, usually a group of friends you're in, somebody will be like, yo, dude, you're playing, I'll start playing something. So
Yeah, they'll volunteer if they're into it also, 100%. And they know that you're.
But don't be.
Hey, Yeah. Happy birthday to this guy, by the way. Did we already do that? Yeah.
Happy birthday, Michael Anthony.
Yeah,
Cheers.
there you go.
12.
But
Caleb,
right-
you be playing.
Don't be discouraged when this band isn't the one. Like when your first band isn't the one, because it's rarely that's the case. You know, you are going to
Rarely
go
is
through
an
lineup
understatement.
changes.
Well, really,
Yeah,
I mean, we've
what-
all got.
What major band that we all know it was like their first band?
Van Halen.
Well, yeah, Pantera.
Well, actually not Van Halen. 'cause
Metallica?
That wasn't their first
Metallica.
band, but is there a band out there where those members' very first band like that's?
It's
Lars
it's
and James from
yeah,
Metallica.
Rush.
it's so,
Nerd
it's so
Halo.
rare
Rush.
that happens.
Rush.
Really?
Sean Silas in the house. What's up, Sean?
Hey, Sean.
Yeah,
Hey,
Rush,
Sean,
Metallica.
really?
Wait a
Junior
second.
high school.
Yeah,
Rush.
but they went through those lineup changes. It's like
Yeah, but it was
there are
still
very-
Getty. It was still Getty and Alex. I mean,
Like what
Right?
bands? What bands out
but
of high
they
school?
kicked Rutsy out. But they kicked Rutsy out before they made it. That's the point. Is the band? There's going to be lineup changes. There's very few bands that say,
Wait.
okay, we're gonna take these 4 guys or 5 guys, slap them in a band, and it works.
So
That's
you're
true.
saying every original
Aerosmith.
member that's like their first band.
Yeah, like we're
Oh.
talking to this. We're talking to a 15-year-old kid
Oh.
who said, "Hey, how do I start a band?" Well, you got to do it
I got
organically.
one.
But the thing that's going to happen is you're going to get you and your friend, and then you two are going to find a friend, and then you two are going to find a friend, and then
I
like Jay
got
just
one.
pointed out, you might have to kick somebody out.
I got one, and they're
What?
like the biggest band ever. You too.
Yeah.
There's a great example.
You too.
Yeah.
And I said Aerosmith too. Aerosmith is one that's really had the same lineup for.
And
Yes
Rock
and no. I
years.
mean, Richie Supa was in and out of that band.
Well, I mean, except for the early '80s.
Rushing to John
So-
Rutsey left.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did Caleb just quit?
And Metallica, you know, you had the
Yeah,
Dave Mustaine a couple of years, and
No, but the U2,
But yeah,
the U2 reference is a great one. U2 is a fantastic example. But that's how many bands did we just go
ZZ
through
Top
before we found
Matt,
one?
Mark says.
Noise with Namis has a good band. Hanson.
yeah,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
too.
it's funny, by the way.
You too. Only Larry. I mean, only Larry knew how to play drums, and everyone else learned their
Yeah.
instruments
Yep.
as they went along. But
Yeah, he started the band. A lot of people don't know that.
yeah,
Yep.
like you imagine
you're
those
talking
early
about-
rehearsals.
So the point being, this kid who's going to start his own new band is going to have to deal with some lineup changes. More than likely, some lineup changes. It's extremely unlikely, and don't be discouraged by that.
No.
Like
yeah.
Jay said, if you're going to take the band seriously and the band is going to go to that next level, be prepared to say goodbye to somebody that you started this band with.
Yes.
That's
You've
just
got to
that-
take it seriously, 100%, and you've got to put everything you've got into it.
Yeah,
if that's why you're in it.
Creativity you've got into it.
And here's
I mean,
here's a really good piece of advice. First of all, just understand that that's going to be a major possibility, especially if you're 15, right? I mean, guys are gonna. I mean, just like Brian Adams said, right? Jimmy quit, Jody got married.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
things are going to happen.
Somebody's
It's
going to
not
go to
gonna let-
college.
right.
somebody's
And-
not as serious as
but as
the other
long
people.
as you keep it going and keep something good, guys will always want to be a part of it.
And there's another
know,
great
like-
example. John Harden just brought up.
Just gonna
You
say
might
that.
get
Yeah.
kicked out. You might get kicked out of the band. You might not be going in the same direction as the other 3 guys, and that's the worst feeling of all. It's something that you built and you started, and all of a sudden the other 3 or 4 people are like, "We're going another direction. We don't want you in the band anymore." You got to let that go. You got. I mean, it's
You
sucks.
let
You
it
just gotta
let it
find-
go and use it as motivation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get
Absolutely.
yeah. Like, okay,
Dave
you know
Mustaine
what?
did.
Fine. Yeah.
And bring your
He's a
mic
perfect
cables with you.
example.
Yeah, take your mic cables. These are mine. These are mine, and I'm taking them with me.
Get a plane
My
ticket
mic
instead of a
stand.
bus ticket.
Well,
I'm
go.
taking my
Go then.
toys and I'm going home.
Well, then go. Go then. I'm going. Can
Ah,
you go a little faster, please?
oh shit.
Well, I can't believe we got that reference in.
I've had those moments. I've had those moments of like, band, a band splitting. We had a rehearsal space, and this was like one summer that we played out, several times at bars and stuff, and we had a rehearsal space for the summer. And, by the end of the summer, we hated each other. There was, girls were getting involved. Same thing we were talking about. And it's like, nobody had time for the band anymore. Nobody wanted to rehearse. And it was just like, it all just fell apart. And, so yeah, at the end of it all, we're dividing stuff up at the rehearsal space. Oh, I bought that, and because we all had.
Where's the
moved into
receipt?
it, you know,
Where's the receipt?
we bought a PA together. Yeah, we bought a PA together. We bought, we bought drum stuff together.
Yeah, but
we
I don't.
all,
I remember that time you were short on space rent, and I covered you. I think that makes.
And
us
that was
even.
the other thing too. We paid rent every month for for.
Yeah, but I used it way
months.
more than you. I used it way more than you did. I used it way more.
Dude, I know I owed you
It
like
just
3
fell.
months
That
space
was
rent,
it,
but I
man.
paid
It
for
just
the
fell
demo.
apart. Man, that I mean, and that's all I remember from being in bands is just a lot of fighting. There was a lot of great times too, but so much of it was just it's like trying to arguing with a girlfriend or something. It's the same thing.
It's like life, man.
I wouldn't change.
The only constant is change.
I wouldn't change a minute of the entire experience. Not a fucking minute. Not one. I mean, the good times, the bad
looking
times,
back,
the lineup changes, all of that shit. I wouldn't change any of it. Seriously, that was the best time of my life, was being in my band. Our band.
Hey, time of my life. Never felt this
No, it
way
was
before.
the best. I would give anything.
Felt this way.
I would give anything to have had it work. I wish it would have worked. Radio was the backup plan. This is the second best job I could come up with. The first one, my friend Gary got and screwed it up.
Gary.
And then Van Halen called
Gary. Hey,
I
Paul.
actually sent him an email about that. By the way, I had sent Gary and I were talking about something, and I told him I had written a song when Extreme was big in Boston about all the bands in Boston that changed their sound to sound like Extreme. It was called Riding the Tails. And Gary goes, "Oh, send it to me. Maybe I'll shop it around here in LA and see if we can't get you a deal." And my response was, "No, thanks. You already fucked up Van Halen."
Oh,
and he wrote back, "No, we know each other well enough that he wrote back." Sorry,
I would hope so.
Yeah, no, we know each other well. He wrote back, "Sorry about that."
That's wonderful.
No, he's got a great sense of humor about it. He's like, a lot of people don't know this. And have I talked about the fact that he got offered the potential to go out with Queen, and he passed on that because he was such a Queen fan that he didn't think he could do the job justice. So he had two offers at the time. One was from Brian May, and the other was from Ray Daniels. And he took the Ray Daniels offer.
Brian May, Pete Townsend, number of people.
And I knew we'd get there.
Now, Jay, that's the quote. Now, why was he saying Brian May was somebody who they considered? Because Brian May is a guitarist.
No, I think when he said they were thinking about doing an all-star band,
all-star band.
Okay.
And Brian May has a great voice, by the way. So maybe he was.
Yeah, Driven by You's a great song.
Yeah, there's a lot of good songs. All Dead, right?
Yeah, all those high harmonies on the Starfleet record. That's all him.
The solo one that he does at the tribute, the Freddie Mercury tribute, was very good. I don't remember. He played acoustic and he had the piano player behind him, but I don't.
Everybody,
but it was
could sing.
A great song.
I want to know.
Yeah. Oh, and the high harmonies with Deacon.
I want to know.
I want to know
girl,
whose idea it was to do an all-star album with like different people singing on different songs, because that person should be. You never get to make a decision in this band again.
Oh, that was Eddie's idea, I'm sure.
Oh God,
I think he was.
What a terrible idea!
It would have been such a left turn for Van Halen at that time.
Well, we know what happens when they give Eddie unfettered control of the band.
Van Halen 3.
No thanks. You already fucked up Van Halen.
Paul, are we tipping a few days?
Yeah. Let me know when you're landing.
Are you going to be in quarantine, or are we good?
Well, I think I'm good. Our building got locked down because one of the guys in our building got sick with the disease that we can't say because of the algorithm. But as far as I know, I mean, Mark and I have been going in every day, and they say if you're going to get symptoms, they should show up within the first 3 to 5 days of exposure. And I'm good. My temperature has been good. I've been having my temperature taken every day, although I'm a little warm these days. Yeah, if I can get it that way.
Yeah, why not? All you can
preferably.
Hey, if you've got good insurance, you might as well take advantage of it.
I'll be in Tuesday midday, but it's going to be a long day, and then Wednesday is going to be super long, but maybe
How long are you here?
one of those nights. Well, we're leaving on Thursday, so but maybe at the end of Wednesday or something, I can pop over or something.
Tell me whatever you want to do. I'm around.
Yeah,
You got my
cool.
number.
Something big in the works here, or
Yeah, we could maybe we'll write a song or two.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
my mother-in-law passed, and we're gonna go. I'm going with my wife to clean out her house. So.
Oh, sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah.
If you need, by the way, if you need help with anything, you let me know.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you need help with anything, let me know. I know a moving company that.
I'll be right over there. I'll be in
It's a
Arizona
1%
in a
discount.
heartbeat.
Well,
No,
I have a truck, and if you need to take some shit somewhere, you let me know. And
What I know of Paul, I totally believe him. Stand-up dude. So.
You guys met at NAMM, right?
No.
Or no,
No.
Paul.
No,
we
we've
never
never
met.
met.
Paul didn't go to NAMM. I don't know why I thought Paul went to.
Yeah.
I went to NAMM a few years ago, and I haven't been back since. It's one of those things I've done once, and it was cool. I just haven't been back since. I can't take the 4 days off. When I took the time off before, I used to run the radio station. Now, when you're the program director, you can take 4 days off and go to LA and screw around and just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But unless you're the boss, you can't get that kind of time off just to screw around.
Friday,
Right.
Thursday, Friday is the only time to really go anyway. So.
Well, the next time there is a NAMM,
Yeah.
I gotta go, man.
Really.
I gotta go.
Whenever that may be.
2022.
Yeah.
Hey, you're probably right.
It's canceled, right?
It's about to be.
I mean, it has to be.
I just heard Friedman's not going on Dave's show, right? So
Which one?
there's going to be a bunch of big wigs not even there. So because they have to agree to it now.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
Are you talking about
You
summer
have
NAMM
all-
or-
And they got to put deposits on the halls and all
Winter
that stuff.
NAMM.
Yeah.
Summer
I don't
NAMM's
s-
already scrapped, dude.
I don't see winter.
That's what I figured. Yeah.
I don't see Winter NAMM happening for at least a couple years, at least, because nothing's happening.
Well, I knew that Summer NAMM is canceled.
Yeah.
But I thought Caleb was referring to Winter NAMM already is about to be announced to be canceled. Is that what you're talking about?
I wouldn't be surprised if we hear
Sounds
in the
like
next 2 months that it's not going to happen.
For winter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless
Sean.
there's- well,
Sean,
So the
I got
question is,
I got
is
really
that a
sick
good
at last NAMM. Huh?
So did I.
So did I.
So did I.
So did I. I'm sorry, man. That just sounded really funny.
does anybody think that NAMM being canceled for a year actually helps maybe to create some demand and gives the manufacturers another year to get their product line in order? Like some of
it'll
these,
be a unique situation. Some might benefit from it.
obviously when like certain manufacturers who shall remain nameless, when they put out their new line of guitars, the first year is usually spent working the bugs out. So now they have another whole year of product testing and stuff like that they can get right and launch properly instead of rushing them out there, which we all know deadlines and stuff like that. Like for some people who have ordered guitars and thought they would get them, maybe they could get some of these guitars in production and get them ready to go so that when NAMM comes around and they take the pre-orders, they can get the guitar before the next NAMM.
Yeah. We're talking about just guitars right now, but I think just in general, it's going to be a huge hit just to the whole economy of it, because that's where all the companies get their orders, all their front money for the year.
Is Caleb sticking for anybody else? He was just like this for like
Yeah,
3
he's
seconds.
frozen.
frozen. You look
I'm
like
so-
this for about a minute.
I'm totally sticking. Fuck.
Yeah, I don't see his lips aren't moving at all.
Say something.
Say
His lips are moving, but I don't hear nothing.
How is that
Oh my
working?
goodness, that's so
Talking
strange.
loud,
That's freaky.
saying nothing, saying nothing.
Look at the deep thought he's in right now.
Did I
For
And
once,
he's
it's not me.
in John Bale's chair also.
Why?
And
You
Michael
can use my
Anthony is not
background.
happy about it.
John,
Did I forget to wipe my ass before?
John Biel got pissed off and he's like, I'm gonna freeze his ass. Get on my fucking chair.
Oh,
Oh,
Sorry.
Oh,
Ah.
somebody
that's
didn't
what-
get the memo.
that
oh, he's going. Wait a minute. There we go.
Michael Smith didn't get the memo, huh?
I didn't. Sorry.
Yeah, well, it's part of it's my fault. I have to remember to mark these videos mature before we even start them.
The following presentation is for mature audiences only. It may
Yeah,
contain,
'cause-
it may
yeah,
contain
'cause
language unacceptable.
Yeah, because eventually I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm gonna get in real trouble. Because
You're in
YouTube,
trouble.
they made it now where you have to mark the videos. You actually have to check certain boxes. Like, does this video include, F-bombs? Does it include
Before you go live?
Well, before you upload it, and this is considered an upload because once we're done with this, it becomes an upload.
So how tough is it to do Mancuda show on Tuesday? Yes. Just write a line down the whole thing. Does this thing contain references to bestiality? Chances are. Pedophilia? Yes.
Oh.
Bestiality? Pedophilia? Amyl nitrate? Yeah, probably.
I don't even know what that is. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to mark. That's right, John Harden. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to mark everything. I'm gonna have to. And actually, well,
no, not Friday. Friday, you don't have to.
Well, not all of them, but some of them. Because even just mentioning,
is it just like
even just mentioning that is considered that?
Really?
YouTube picks up those words.
Is it still just like a yes or no? Is it kid
it's a yes or no.
Kid friendly, or you?
Well, no.
That's what it comes down to, right?
No. Well, first of all,
there's one F-bomb, it's not for kids.
First of all, well, no. This channel is not for kids. That's the one thing because
so it should be the automatic
at all.
Yeah.
It used to be this channel used to be family friendly because I used to have a 5-year-old watching these videos.
Now you have a 3-year-old watching the videos downstairs in my
she goes to sleep listening to Metallica, so she's cool.
Yeah. But no, this channel used to totally be family friendly. I tried to keep it that way for a long time, but eventually,
Mancuda showed up.
You can't. Eventually, you can't, and so now. But as far as the kid friendly thing, no, it's not. I've marked this channel not kid friendly because if it is, you lose everything. You lose the comments, you lose thumbnails, you lose all these features. If you
lose viewers.
Yeah,
dirt sells. A certain level of adult content plays. There's a reason why PG and PG-13 movies are the predominant money makers, because G-rated stuff appeals to a smaller audience. R-rated stuff appeals to a slightly bigger audience, but PG-13, that's why in a PG or PG-13 movie, you'll hear certain swear words, but they leave certain ones out. And there's a certain amount of nudity that they'll allow, one breast shot or something like that.
Somebody will be wearing shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah, are you
Jaws was originally rated G. Did you guys know that?
Are you allowed one F-bomb in a PG-13 movie?
I think it's one. I believe there's a count.
Really?
Right. I think that's the way they do it. Yeah.
I think that, and for the sake of this conversation, I think that BS is fine in a PG-13 movie. S-bombs are fine. Ass is fine.
Still a limited number, though.
Yeah, but I think there's a certain amount of that, and then once you pass that threshold, then the MPAA says, okay, we have to go to another level with it.
Well, that's a great point, because in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, the scene that puts that movie from a PG-13 to an R-rated film is the rental car scene when Steve Martin drops how many F-bombs in 20-something seconds?
Right.
Oh, really?
And the funny thing about it is that's the main reason when he read the script and he saw that scene or read that scene, that was the one that put him over the top of like, I want to play that role. And I think they wanted to remove it. And he was like, no.
Yeah, I would have thought that was PG-13.
Huh?
I would have thought that was PG-13.
It was without that scene.
I mean, looking back, right. Yeah, they had to, but it got an R eventually, though.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, it's like, what was the on Golden Pond, that scene with Henry Fonda and the little kid where he's dropping the F-bomb in the boat?
Yeah.
He goes, you like that word, don't you? He goes, yeah, it's a good word.
What's another word? Yeah, go
like I was saying.
Remember? Pussy.
Jaws was originally rated G. It was, it may still be rated G, but it was originally rated G, and there's nudity in that.
Why?
They drop a couple of, at least they say shit a few times in that.
G
there's an F-bomb, but
what?
I don't think
G?
it was
I'm
ever
pretty sure it was rated G.
No, I think it was PG.
Look it up.
What?
John Biel.
You're gonna have 5-year-olds in there watching people get chewed too.
I don't.
That's not rated. Not in the ending of that when the guys. No.
I
Dude,
think
there's a lot
hard,
of blood
bro.
and everything.
That's
think
not
it was
rated.
PG,
G.
wasn't it
Let's check
PG?
it out. Maybe all right. I
John,
could be wrong. All right. I
Gee,
could be
John,
wrong.
when you look stuff up, you got to go to the other angle.
That's for the official John Biel looking up angle. That's the authoritative.
Well, it's
John
originally
Biel.
it's officially rated PG, but
Is it?
for some reason I thought it was rated G
I thought it was R.
before like the
You
the
can
ratings
use
were-
profanity, but you can't describe excretory or sexual functions. That's sort of how it works. It's the weirdest thing, but because that's kind of how it works in radio. You're allowed to say that you can say somebody is pissed off, or you can call somebody an asshole, but you can't talk about
context.
Yeah.
or inserting
Taking a
something into your
yeah.
It can't be excretory, sexual, or ejaculatory in nature. Otherwise, you get
Until Howard came
Tuesday
on.
show.
Good to know. Good to know.
no, you can do it on satellite and cable television because you've opted in.
Mhm.
Because
It's an opted in. It's not.
you're paying
yeah,
for it. It's
yeah,
not over
once you
free
opt-
work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when you opt in, that terms of service that nobody reads says some content may be objectionable. Blah 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 blah. They just started breaking the F-bomb barrier on basic cable on like FX and FXX and all those shows.
Wow.
Were like the Mayans and stuff like that. They used to
Right.
not say.
Yeah.
They didn't. They stayed away from like 5 of the 7 dirty words, but in the past couple of years, FXX and a couple other channels like the Independent Film Channel and
Yeah, they don't cut them all. They have commercial, but they don't cut it.
Right. Like
Yeah.
Always Sunny in Philadelphia, some of the the FXX shows.
Aren't there episodes of Family Guy that have swearing in them? Where you
well,
don't
they're-
see them on Fox,
I
but
think
like
they're usually-
the DVD version, they have F.
Oh yeah, they're all they're
yeah.
that was the
they
Star
cut them-
Star Wars series they did.
yeah, they cut them unedited, and then Standards and Practices goes through an editing thing there. So if you go to the original DVDs and stuff like that, they're all unedited.
Mm-hmm. And hey, I want to show Michael Smith's new keyboard. That's the
not QWERTY,
perfect. That's
is
the perfect Facebook keyboard, man.
It is.
That's
Where
the
can we
internet
find
right
one,
there.
Michael?
That's my Twitter account right there.
We used to get away with that by putting PHA-Q on the brim of our painters' caps.
Oh. Yeah, it's self-explanatory right there.
Mm-hmm.
So funny.
Well, so much for the family-friendly nature of the show, because if you can post that visually, I can say it. So fuck, fuckity, fuck.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh,
I'm the
Cross the
bad
line,
guy.
crossed the line there, Paul.
Yeah, I crossed the line.
This is what sunstroke does to Paul.
Yeah. Enjoy the tan lines though. The
Nice.
tan lines.
Look at that.
Huh? The tan lines are very sexy. This is what
Golfer.
happens when you ride a motorcycle in Arizona.
Wow. Dude,
You ride a motorcycle in Arizona, that happens.
that white is like the sun.
It's funny too because I'm usually pretty dark, complexion, but this when you put the tan on top of it, you get the real contrast.
Do you have a pool?
Yeah.
So you don't lay out by the pool?
Do I look like the
You have
kind of
to
guy
have
that should be
Isn't
laying
that
out by a pool?
prerequisite?
Well, I mean,
No,
if I had a,
I
if I had
actually
a pool.
I go into the pool, and my pool is in the 90s. The water is in the 90s, so it's like I feel like Bugs Bunny in the pot.
Isn't that like Hot Tub Time Machine?
The bath.
I feel like Bugs Bunny in the pot. It's you get in the pool and you're like, wow, this is not refreshing at all until you walk into the 77-degree air-conditioned house.
Yeah.
You're in
And-
your
and-
pool.
And
People throwing carrots in there.
Yeah,
in Arizona, you only go outside to go somewhere else.
Yeah,
You
you
don't-
don't,
you're
you
only
don't
outside
hang-
for
you
like
don't-
30 seconds.
You don't hang out outside.
you don't stay outside.
No.
It's like Mars. I mean, Venus.
Riding a motorcycle is good as long as you can do 70, 75 miles an hour and have the wind blowing in your face. The minute you stop, not only do you feel the heat from the engine of the motorcycle coming up on you, you
Yeah.
also get the reflective heat of all the tar around you that's been baking in the sun.
Yeah.
So it's literally like being on a flat iron. It's the worst.
Also, with that bike you have, obviously it's air cooled,
Yeah.
so that's another issue.
Yeah. Harley Davidsons.
You don't want to hit
are not
traffic.
fun.
You don't want to be in traffic with that.
No, if you get stuck in traffic, and you can't lane split in Arizona, so which by the way is a good thing because lane splitting gets you killed.
Especially in a fat boy.
Yeah, yeah. You could absolutely scuff a lot of cars trying to get between them. But the when you get caught in traffic here on an air-cooled motorcycle, every once in a while when you pull away from a red light, it sounds like a diesel because it's knocking because it's running so hot.
Yeah.
So that's usually a sign that you should probably pull over.
It'll cut off too.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes they'll stall out.
No. So now we educated everybody on air-cooled motorcycles.
Yeah, well, it's just hot as hell here.
It's true though. Yeah.
Very hot.
My V-Rod has the radiator, so I wouldn't have
You got the water, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we had a question here. Hold on. Yes,
we did?
Yeah. Wonderful. Believe it or not, let me go back.
Jay tapped out when we got into Arizona weather.
Oh, I'm hot just thinking about it. Because that's where I was born. I lived there for the first 10 years of my life.
Yeah, I saw the question. It was what speakers are in the cabinets behind me. First of all, there's no cabinets behind me. This is a green screen. But
the illusion. Come on, the illusion. Keep it
I
up.
wish I had these in my house. That'd be awesome. But
you got the fog machine behind you too.
Yeah, there's something wrong with my effects.
The frog machine?
The frog machine.
Oh God, not more fog.
The EVH 412 comes with Celestion G12 speakers. I believe they are the 30-watt speakers.
Noise would normally
greenbacks. Those aren't greenbacks, right?
No, he has his own.
Were the Marshall that use greenbacks.
He has his own speakers.
Noise would normally ask one more time. Charvettes, you talking about guitars, obviously. Charvettes, good or bad? He wants to know. He was in the Discord earlier, and he said he'd come be on tonight, and he wanted to ask the question. So I have no, I've never played one, so I can't speak to it. Can anybody?
You mean Charvel?
I've heard that they are the budget of budget Charvels.
Okay.
I don't know enough about them. I know that our friend Dane Zimmerman has had one in his shop, but I believe that Charvettes they were basically the end of Charvel when they were basically cutting all expenses and trying to make an affordable guitar to keep the lights on.
Like the Chevy Chevette, was like the Charvette is the kind of the Chevy Chevette of Chevelles or Charvels. Almost got that.
Why did you call Sammy? I just talked to Sammy. Why did you call Sammy? So I said, give me his number, man. I called him right there from his shop.
That's where Jay went.
Was that Jay or was that Johnny?
Here's one. What are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
The excitement in his voice when he says the last line, man.
So I called him right there from his shop.
Nerd.
Oh, I love it.
That turned out to be a very, very good call and then a farcical call later on. Calling him back in 2004 was bad.
Was it? And then we put a big gold cap on it.
Well, speaking of Sean Zimmerman, he said it's obviously not a USA Charvel, but it's an okay starter guitar. So,
yeah.
There you go.
That's it right there?
Hmm.
That's the Charvette?
Yep, Charvette. It's
all I think when I see that is, does it stay in tune?
Both sides?
Yeah, it's a Squire. It's basically Charvel's Squire.
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah,
but even Squires, Squires aren't bad now. They'll stay in tune, and a lot of people use them. Pros use them. I don't know. About
I think if you have an opportunity to buy if you have an opportunity to buy a Charvel, go into your local secondhand store and find one of the the Japanese Model 1s, Model 4s, Model 5s. You can pick those up for $200-300, and that extra $50 is gonna serve you well.
Yeah, I would think you could find a real Charvel for.
Yeah, the Japanese Charvels are pretty well made, all things considered.
Look how dirty that floor is.
Looks like a dog might have pissed in the corner over there.
Mm-hmm.
Look at those curtains.
There's another guitar there too. Looks like there's a the Strat next to it.
Whose house is that?
I don't know.
Somebody get him a Roomba.
So that's a
those
Charvette.
shoes. And
The
then those
Roomba is worth more than a guitar.
Yeah, like Charvette pickups.
Need a
What kind of
technical.
pickups are they? Look like they have the same.
They look like
Well,
EMGs.
it looked like the logo on the headstock was almost a Charvel logo, but like a rip-off Charvel logo.
The unfortunate part about that is, those are made in Korea, and those were made in Korea when made in Korea guitars were not really well made. But if you can get it for $100,
This website sucks. Dang. Some of these sites, you go to them, and it's just crap.
You're better off shelling out a couple extra bucks, though.
Yeah, the extra $50 you're going to save on it is
You're not going to
worth
be pulling the hair out of your head because the damn thing won't stay in tune.
Well, look at that piece of shit I just sent you guys.
Oish.
Now that's not the guitar. That's not like the one that I actually own, but it is. I believe that's the same exact model.
Oh, Harmony.
That was my first.
Oh,
Yeah,
your
it looks
first?
like yeah, I had a Harmony. That was my first one.
Looks like Brian May's body.
I think I got the next level up. Mine was pretty much a Strat copy.
Yeah, mine wasn't.
I
Mine was
remember looking at
garbage.
service merchandise.
Yeah, like a Sears or
That's where I got my first guitar.
Sears Wish Book or J.C. Penney's Wish
Pretty
Book.
much a Sears, yeah.
Yeah.
J.C.
Eventually
Penney.
those
J.C. Penney.
what were they? The Dan Electros and stuff that
There you go.
Sears sold back in the '60s. People would get those for
Those silver tones that Sears
and
sold
they
way
looked
back.
like that. They looked the silver tones. They looked like that too, just kind of a slab body with a
Oh,
sort of
a crappy bridge.
a
the
Moss
Amp-
Right knockoff.
The amp and case guitars, those things are great. I've got one.
Mm-hmm.
But I told you
It
guys.
was a Dan Electro or silver tone.
So, well, it's a silver. Yeah. Okay, that's a Harmony.
They
Yeah.
were rebranded,
one.
right?
Now, can I tell you about the shitty experience when my mom took me to get that?
That's your first guitar?
Yeah. Well, that's not the exact
Do the
Actual-
tell. Do the tell.
guitar. But
Yeah, Jay said, I want the Jakey Lee Strat. And she said, here you go.
dude, I literally had no idea.
The janky Lee Strat.
Look at the pickup arrangement. There's no bridge pickup.
No, dude, it was utter crap. And I remember when the first time I actually like my next
There's
guitar.
no selector switch. Both pickups are on all the time.
Yeah, the
at that.
style
That's
humbucker, just two singles.
Do
So
you still have it?
I wish I did. I sold
Yeah,
it.
see?
Yeah, I sold it to some douchebag that I went to high school with.
Then
After
you
I
had to
got
kick him out of your
the
band.
huh?
Then you had to kick him out of your band.
Nah. No, but my mom took me to McKeel's Music Shop in Newburgh, New York on my 15th birthday. Looking for a guitar, whatever. I had no idea what I was looking for. She obviously had no idea. And that was there used. It wasn't even new. It was used for I want to say it was like 150 or something.
Oh my god.
125, whatever it was. It was
Yeah.
I want to say it was 150.
What year was this? Not 1990 or early 90s?
It would have been, I was born in 77, so that would have been, come on, somebody help me out here. Do the math, please.
How old
Yeah,
were you?
my Harmony in 88 or 89, I got my Harmony.
Well,
I mean,
so
not that-
I was born in 77, and this was when I was 15, so 92, right?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
You were
92.
15 and 92?
Yeah,
He's the youngest. He's a young
Man,
buck.
yeah. So
Like,
anyway,
I was 14.
I remember like that Christmas or something. I remember seeing it in like the Sears catalog. That exact same. Actually, I think it was the black one. It was the exact opposite of that one, but it was the same guitar.
let's find
and
that Sears catalog.
And it had a starter amplifier with it. Came with a gig bag, a strap, like the whole thing, like a whole like starter pack. And it was cheaper, brand new, than what my mom paid for it used. And I remember telling my mom,
Yeah.
like, we got ripped off, you know.
Yeah.
Needless to say, that was the last time I went to that music shop.
Well, you know, when you buy it used, you know, it comes with Mojo.
The Mojo was the waterlogged back of the guitar. It was like the guitar body was slightly warped.
And the rusted
it had
metal.
like moisture cracks all through the back of the body.
Oh,
Yeah, it was a
that's
hunk of
awesome. Actually, I found
Johnny, I'll send you the
this same,
picture from-
pretty much the same guitar here. I found in a dumpster when I was a teenager, and I had it. I had it hanging on my wall, and then later on, I used it as an ashtray. I still have a picture somewhere of it as an ashtray with cigarettes all over it. Ding! Oh wait. So you just let me see.
It's got the Sears 92, 93 fall winter catalog with guitars, all the guitars that they have.
Wow. Oh, and it's got the what's that? The what do you call it?
Symphonics guitar or
The-
something.
yeah.
EVH,
Yeah, the guitar with the
there's
amp
one
in
with
it.
the EVH, it's got the EVH style on all things.
Night, fruitcake.
Good night, man.
Tony, good night, Tony. Freakcake Tony, good night, man, and congratulations on your show today with Stephen Rosen, man.
Oh,
Yeah, that was awesome.
That's right.
That was awesome, man.
Oh, I gotta catch that.
Gotta watch the replay myself.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was great to see Stephen because when he was on here, we never saw him.
Yeah, we gotta get him on visual here.
You know. Yeah, he's awesome. So that's the what is that? The Sears
The
catalog?
Sears, was it 92, 93 Christmas or the holiday catalog, I guess?
well, that's obviously
Oh.
I saw it in.
That's a sorry bunch of looking guitars, man. All those, man.
You didn't want that
Let me
Symphonic
look
guitar,
for
dude?
my first one.
The Sensonics?
I wanted that so bad because when I didn't play guitar, I'm saying I wanted it.
Oh, and there's pedals too. Look at that. There's pedals in there. There's amps. Looks like it's those fuzzy amps with the fuzz all over them.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I have an amp similar to that in the garage. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Who's eating? Who's crunching?
Dreadnought acoustic.
Are those NMs?
Right up against the Martins, right there. I mean, you could you gotta really make a choice if you want a Martin or was that a Harmony or a...
Oh,
Oh, sure.
Double chocolate. Look at that.
Oh,
family.
Family size.
Nope.
They're just yours.
J size.
That's right.
Hey, it's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day, Jay and Caleb and
That's
guess,
right.
Michael.
thank you, guys.
Father's Day, man.
Wow, I forgot. I'm glad it wasn't Mother's Day and I forgot.
You'd be reminded.
Oh yeah, I would. I have been. Long story.
Wow, Caleb.
Wow, man.
Looking good, man. That was where'd you find
That's just on the internet. Someone said it in the chat. Put yourself on the fair warning stage. So
that reminds me. I bought a couple of full size photographs of there's one of the fair warning stage and one of the diver down stage. So I should be getting those in the next week or so.
oh, that's funny. That's
Supposedly a high quality print, but it's who knows what it's going to be.
someone posted a picture of the full empty arena stage of diver down, and I love just reading the comments because
I've seen that one. I think
like 6 or 7 people just picked the wrong tour, and I'm the nerd. I have to fucking get in there and go.
Oh god,
80,
you can tell right away.
82.
Yep.
82 diver down. Sorry.
And then you just sit there and hope that somebody says, "No, man."
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Yeah.
I'll be like, where are the vertical trusses? Where are the vertical trusses between two cabinets?
Yeah.
Where are they? No,
What,
they're not there.
Were you a roadie on that tour or something?
Yeah.
Dude, you're wrong.
Dude, where's the catwalk with the 2 keyboards behind Alex? Sorry, it's not 84.
Oh, here it is. Let me see. I'll send it to Johnny.
I can't take all that. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I like doing these shows is we can talk about it and people can watch us talk about it and they can chime in, in the comments down below afterwards. But I can't take Facebook where just fighting with people all day long about the same thing just over and over and over. I can't do it.
Yeah. For some reason, I can.
What we need to do is we need to have a Dave versus Sammy conversation.
Oh yeah.
Versus Gary.
Right. Versus Mitch.
That was last night.
There was a funny one on Twitter the other day. Someone, it was Renoff, said that a friend of his messaged him saying,
This is a better quality one.
excuse me, saying that
I'm just talking to myself here. You
I know.
continue.
I know.
Yeah, but nobody can hear him when you're talking with him.
Someone messaged Renoff saying, I just listened to Balance and realized Michael Anthony is nowhere on the album in backing vocals.
Yeah.
And that they use similar sounding Michael Anthony vocalists for it. And I was like, what? And then I went and listened. He's on like every song except a few where it's just, you can tell it's Sammy doubling himself, but like, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because those background vocals on "Don't Tell Me What Love Can Do" are just completely faked.
Right? Like, who can sing like that?
Right.
There's only one human being on earth who can sing like that.
Yeah, that's the thing. We talk about singular bands. We've talked about this before about a band that sounds unique and singular. Obviously, Eddie gets most of the credit, but I posted that. The video for Pound Cake and that snare drum sound and that kick drum sound that Andy Johns gets from Alex is singular as well and identifiable. And then you put those background harmonies, which is obviously the complaint that we all had with A Different Kind of Truth, is that Michael is missing there and you can tell he's missing there. You put any one of those elements in another band and that makes the band sound singular. You put all three of those elements in the band and there's an argument to be made that it doesn't matter who's singing, it's still going to sound like Van Halen.
It's identifiable as those.
Yeah, it's so identifiable. Any one of those things. If you heard Michael Anthony singing backgrounds on any other band and you hear it with the Circle and you hear it when he plays out with Sammy, it's Michael Anthony. There are very, David Lee Roth always says it. He's one of the greatest, was it tenors, that you'll hear ever. One of those greatest voices. It's so identifiable that to have somebody even try to infer that he's not on the record is silly. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if some background Michael Anthony vocals were not mixed in on A Different Kind of Truth to try and supplement that record.
Yeah, I think people have said that. Yeah.
Yeah. I believe that happened. Obviously, they sampled some old Roth screams to try and punch in.
And Johnny got destroyed for pointing that out.
Yeah, no, that happened. Yeah. That clearly happened.
Yeah, there's one during Stay Frosty.
Right. That's clearly from like 1979.
It's from Van Halen 2. It's from Bottoms Up, I think. Yeah, I was listening to Van Halen 2 tonight because of Nesdal.
They didn't even use an alternate take.
They just sampled in a scream. Yeah, a scream.
Sure.
Yeah. And I listened to Van Halen 2 all the way through tonight while I was driving around. And because Dave Friedman said that's his favorite tone.
Me too. I started listening to it as
soon
as
and what I realized on that record, if you listen to that record, the most distinct thing to me is Alex's snare is not Alex's snare. Like, it's not the normal Alex sound. If you listen to that record, you won't hear that pop on Van Halen 2.
Other than the beginning of, let's say, Out of Love.
Right, but there's just it doesn't have that signature sound. It's really it's strange. And I mean I do like the tone, and it's definitely a different it's the set aside tone of Eddie from the Dave years.
Right.
There's one tone for all 6 records that sounds way different than the other records, and it's definitely Van Halen 2. You know, and I also realized tonight that maybe my favorite, because I've always said Diver Down is my favorite Eddie tone.
Yeah.
But I don't think anything sounds better than the tone like on Jamie's Crying. If you listen to like the rhythm parts on Jamie's Crying, there's just so much. There's so much. I don't know. Like, it's why everyone heard that record. It's why everyone heard that record and knew something changed in the world completely. And if you listen to Jamie's Crying, just the amount of juice that's in that tone is ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
We know what guitar he used on that.
What's that? On Jamie's
What
Crying,
guitar
I think
did he use on-
I think he used the Destroyer on Jamie's Crying.
Shark. Yeah.
I get that same
figured, yeah.
Caleb, what you're talking about, I get that same feeling on Sinner's Swing. The guitar tone on Sinner's Swing is so mean.
Yeah.
It's mean. Like there's nothing like my favorite tone is still, I think, Eddie, overall tone is the fucking and Balance records, because it's so round and full and you know, sort of chorusy and you know, it fills the room. But as far as mean, it's tough to top that riff in Sinner's Swing. It's just like that's a guitar punch in the face. I get the same feeling that you get from VH2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's interesting to me that Dave Friedman, who's got some of the best ears in the business, that's his favorite tone. I always thought that the sound on Van Halen 2 was almost like they experimented and kind of got it wrong, that record, and then they got back to the sound for the rest of the records. Does that make any sense to anybody? But
I always liked Van Halen too, but
I did too. I just
and you guys were talking last night about the mixes of these albums in the 80s. Were they really all kind of the same? Do you think Van Halen 2 had a sound just to itself, or there were different? I think there were definitely different sounds, and not only the nylon string and then the
what I meant though was I was talking metal records. I was talking like the early Metallica records, the early, you know, I was talking the thrash metal genre, not necessarily pop or you know, rock.
But it made me think about, you know, some of the Van Halen albums because they do have
there definitely is a standard with any given era of music. There's definitely a standard of production.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
the Mutt Lange stuff, you can tell Mutt Lange's production, his signature on the Foreigner records, the AC/DC records, you know, anything that Mutt Lange did had, and then he changed a little bit with Def Leppard.
Between the 70s and 80s, Mutt Lange, the 70s was very dry and very dead studio. You wanted everything to be dead. And then in the 80s, everything was big sound. You know, you want the big toms and the big, you know,
similar to like a guy like Bob Rock, like all big his drums. Records. Yeah, all his records sound very similar.
He had a signature snare.
Yeah, you know? Big drums. I mean, those Cult records sound like Metallica records, sound like Motley records.
And he'd bring everybody to Hawaii to his studio, and he'd make them use his amps and his stuff. So it's almost like that was the signature, was he was just using all of his stuff.
Yeah, he never stops, by the way.
I got a chance. Wasn't Vancouver his?
The microphones were never moved. Everything was always in the same spot.
Right. Exactly.
That's how you get the same consistent sound. If you don't touch it.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
Well, if anybody's a big Metallica fan, you know, the drum kit that Lars was using back then was his white Tama with the black rims. You know, if you watch the studio footage, it's a bunch of different stuff. He was endorsed with Zildjian. He was using some Zildjian. He had a kit that was put together for the sound that they were going for.
Right.
I think the Metallica sound Tama kit that he had on Masters, wasn't he? In the studio for Black. He was using the gray kit that he used on the Masters tour.
I missed
that's what I thought he was.
Played tennis?
Was he? Wasn't Lars using the gray Tama kit from the Masters tour on the recording of Black?
No, I think it was part of I think some of that kit wasn't it like a Gretsch kit or something on the Black album. I thought he was using either Bob Rock.
I thought he had the touring kit from
Let's call David Nesdall now.
I mean, not
Yeah,
Masters.
Kill us. Nesdall would kill us for two
Justice.
reasons. Number one, calling him this late. Number two, calling him about Metallica.
Right.
Yeah,
I'd be more pissed off about calling him about Metallica than anything else.
or Van Halen at this point.
I love the Fleming Rasmussen.
Yeah.
I think the Fleming Rasmussen records defined that genre. I think you talk about the Ride the Lightning and Master of Puppets, that defined the genre. Everybody wanted that sound. I mean, Anthrax certainly went after it. With Aplomb, Metal Church, like all those bands, when those, and it's funny because Fleming Rasmussen doesn't get mentioned as being as responsible for the thrash tones that he brought, but those Metallica records clearly sonically changed the game. And I think one of the big complaints, obviously, other than the lack of bass on Injustice for All, but one of the big complaints about the Black Album that people like to make is it doesn't sound like Metallica, because we were so used to 3 records of that record sounding like Metallica. Like, that's one of the things that, for all we talk about with Van Halen, at least it always sounded like Van Halen.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Metallica certainly had a sonic shift when they brought Bob Rock into the game. And then obviously, Bob Rock put his stamp on everything. There's certain guys like that. Spencer Proffer was a guy that did that with Quiet Riot and Kick Axe and some of those other things. He had his house sound thing. Bo Hill did it with Rat and Kicks. Like, it got to a point where you can almost tell who produced a record based upon what it sounded like.
And if I mean, how a lot of the recording
you're
went
right, Jay.
in the 70s, 80s, 90s, a lot of these big producers, they had their own frickin' studio at these major studios. They had their own.
They were the house
studio.
guy.
Right. So all their stuff was in there, and it was all being used on every product they were producing. And that's just because they're all gearheads, and they've all found the sounds and tones of what they want. And then the band comes to them, and then that producer shapes the band with the gear that he has, not the gear that the band has.
Well, Jack Douglas was that guy for Columbia, and Templeman was that guy for Warner Brothers.
Right.
He was the house guy. He was the guy that was under contract to the record labels, so that they said, hey, make this band sound good enough for our label and bring it in under budget.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden they hit with Foreigner, and they hit with Van Halen, and they hit with Montrose, and suddenly now the producer can sit back and go, well, wait a second. You want me to do this record? I want a point on the back end.
Yep.
And that's what happened with Mutt Lange, and that's what happened and obviously Bob Rock and Rick Rubin. Those guys became rock stars in their own right, because
Jack Joseph Puig, you know that name?
No.
He did the Black Crowes records, and he also did the Tonic first record, which is an amazing record. And just I know from that experience, that's where I learned about producers having their own studio and all their own gear and stuff. He made them all use his stuff, and he created that sound through his stuff. And
we went to Henson to listen to Beyond Good and Evil from the Cult when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
Atlantic flew all these radio programmers in, and I was in Sacramento at the time. They flew us down to LA to go preview the record. So we go to Henson Studios, and Ian and Billy were there, and Bob Rock was there. So we're all in the sound room, and in the performance room, and Bob Rock is behind the glass and pumping the record out into us. And he was furious that he couldn't get the sound that he wanted out of Henson Studios' system, because he was in there. He hadn't had time. Like, he said everything the way he wanted to, but you could see him in there behind the glass going, he was furious that it didn't sound like it sounded like when he mastered it or when he had it in his studio. And I guess that's the producer equivalent to playing your rig through somebody else's amp.
Mm-hmm.
You can't, no matter what happens, those speakers don't sound like your speakers.
Yeah, they hear everything. I mean, it's all the slightest things. There's just It's such a fine line. I mean, Jay knows just from, you know.
Well, he does it.
Yeah, he does it. So he knows. You know, that's why these guys are who they are, because of their ears. You know, their ears alone. It's not even about, you know, how they twist knobs or anything. It's their ears.
Look at Bob Ezrin. He is single-handedly keeping Deep Purple relevant moving forward. He's produced the last 4 or 5 Deep Purple records, and they've all sounded fantastic. That's not an easy thing to do when you've got a guitar player who's got arthritis in one hand and a lead singer whose voice is shot.
They're still doing stuff.
Yeah, and they're making good records.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and because Bob Ezrin is in there going, okay, this is what we're doing here, and those guys have figured out if we want to have a career, we're going to listen to the guy that makes it sound good.
Yeah, because last night they were talking about a different kind of truth. I think I mentioned that because they were trying to figure out who was in charge of that, and I said it was definitely Dave.
Sure.
You know, and you can tell because Dave is like, the vocals are so high in the mix, and just his little, like, you know, breakdowns in a few songs where he's doing the radio voice and
does it in every song. There's a breakdown.
Yeah, it's really annoying because
it's in every song.
But I my complaint about that record, not only is the Eddie tone not up to my standards, but the drums are too low. You know, the drums aren't the drums. You know, maybe on a few songs, but on most of the songs, the drums aren't where they should be in the mix, and it's kind of disappointing. So
I think it's an inconsistent record sonically.
Yeah,
and I think that's because they had to lay in some of those other things, those Michael Anthony vocals on "She's the Woman" and on some of these other tunes. You know what I mean? Where those harmonies are in there. I think that's part of the reason why, because you've got all these old takes from 30 years ago and you're trying to make them sonically match. And Jay, correct me if I'm wrong, EQing that stuff and making it sound natural and mesh is a challenge in and of itself.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm not a fan of people ragging on that record because it's using old songs for, you know, what is it? 60% of the record are old songs. But, you know, that's because we were bootlegged. You know, a lot of other bands, they didn't get bootlegged, and they're using songs from their history. You know, that they're using songs that never made it to the record. And
a lot of the shit for Physical Graffiti was written for Zeppelin 3 and 4.
Right. So it's a normal practice for a band to dip.
Sure it is.
And the fact that Van Halen gets dragged because they're using songs that they wrote, you know, and let's face it, before they got signed, you know, they had 100 tunes already, and they were all great songs and great pieces of songs. And you know, and the story always is told. Eddie wrote most of the riffs from the Roth era. Error is a nice little Freudian slip. In his room, you know, in his room when he was 15 and 16 years old. These are the riffs that showed up, you know, on 1984.
Yeah, there's,
you know,
I think A Different Kind of Truth is an awesome album. It's
Eddie. I cried when I listened to it.
I love the record.
Eddie soloing on that album.
It's the best thing they could have come out with at that time, I think.
Yeah,
it's exactly what I wanted from Van Halen. It's exactly what I wanted.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
It's not another album from the 80s. It's not another album from the original Roth era. It's not, you know, in that same, but it does, in some ways, it does, like, it picks up where they left off.
Right. Well, they could have released Honey Baby Sweetie Doll and Stay Frosty. 2 songs, right? Like they did the 2 songs in 96. And I would have been satisfied.
Yeah.
With those 2 songs.
God, those 2 songs, they're freaking awesome, man.
You know, like that's how
I want to, like, put them on right now. That's how good those are.
And there's plenty of good songs on that record.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
For an album that they put out as, you know, 20 years after the band's last album or whatever it was.
Except for The Trouble Would Never is just them ripping off Crosstown Traffic. I mean, it's literally right off of the demos that we heard of them doing Crosstown Traffic. I was listening to this. I'm like, are you shitting me? Somebody needs to sue here. I mean, it's literally the same song.
Yeah, definitely the verse. You know?
Absolutely, yeah.
But
and I think didn't the second Chicken Foot album come out at the same time in 2012? I think I bought those two albums around the
You mean
same
the third
time.
one?
And,
Yes.
Well, okay, sure. The third one. Well, it was it was called 3.
I actually love Chicken Foot 3.
I just remember just such the different. I mean, yeah, I didn't like that. But a different kind of truth was far above that in my opinion. Like when I heard those were like the only 2 albums I had probably bought that year. You know, not that I didn't buy a lot of new music that year.
Do you remember in the days before the record came out? You had pieces of it on the internet. Do you remember that? Like there were pieces of each song.
Tattoo, the premiere of Tattoo was
right. That was the first one that came out, and it was just a piece of the pre-chorus of Tattoo. And the pre-chorus of Tattoo is probably the worst part of any song on the whole record. You know,
and they throw it out there,
and they put that.
They always
out.
release the worst. You know,
and I remember going, "Ooh boy, oof."
You know,
I remember I saw the album cover the day before it was released. Like somehow I saw it online somewhere, and I'm like, "Is this real?" You know? And I saw it, and then people, of course, people think I'm a huge Van Halen guy, so people, would send me all this stuff too. Like, Johnny, look at this. Johnny, is this real? So I remember seeing it like the day before it was actually released, and I'm like, oh wow, and then. Yeah, the next day there it was.
And that's that's an FL9 locomotive. You guys knew that.
Yeah, let's go to Captain.
Oh,
for that.
Well, hey, yeah, let's
album cover. Yeah, let's check out the album cover.
That's the one from Silver Street.
Is that an actual locomotive? Like a it's like a kind of an Art Deco sort of 30s kind of style, right?
It's an FL series locomotive. They used them for.
When was that produced?
That would have been in the 50s, 60s.
Yeah, so the Silver Street.
Yeah, the very streamlined.
Yeah,
sure.
From the Commodore's album.
Someone's always done it before. I remember that record came out in early February, and I remember around mid-November, I was working in a restaurant, and there was a guy that I knew worked for Interscope Records, and
look at that. Yeah,
he told me that check that out, and he told me that the new record was coming, and it was amazing. And I remember hearing that in November of 2011.
Is it the same picture?
And remember they didn't announce they didn't announce anything until Christmas Eve. That's when the official band released the information that something was coming.
Here's a fun one for you.
So I knew for a month that something was coming and it was going to be awesome. And it was the hardest thing in my life to just kind of, because he told me to keep my mouth shut, but he said that it's coming and it's awesome. And I remember him saying that to me, and but anyway, advance notice.
I was looking through. I was looking through the. I got all the CD singles off of A Different Kind of Truth, and I remember getting Tattoo and just putting it in my truck and listening to it all the way home. And you know how the CD in a truck CD player will just keep repeating and repeating and repeating and repeating. Mm-hmm. And I just kept doing that all the way home, just like, oh, this is so good. You know what I mean? When it just kicks in.
Yeah, it's good to hear them again. That was for me, was the night that it came out on iTunes, the whole record. I just remember I was emotional just to have it happening. Like you've been waiting so long for this. Just like when the 07, 08 tour came out, like when you actually see them on stage together again, there's a visceral feeling where it's like, I never thought in my life I'd see this again, and it's happening. So that's how I felt when that record came out that night. So go ahead.
I remember when Van Halen 3 came out and we had Without You. We got a leak ahead of time, and the Warner Brothers rep. Well, I won't say where we got it from, but we got it. We had it ahead of time.
Sorry.
And the Warner Brothers rep comes in to the radio station, and he's got this, which, you know, the Van Halen 3 single for Without You, and he's got it in his Walkman, in his Discman.
I don't think I've seen that.
I used to have that CD.
Yeah, he's got it in his Discman, and he goes, I'll give you the headphones, and I'll let you listen to it on headphones, but you can't listen to it in your office, because they knew that, and this is something that radio stations do all the time, behind the stereo system in the program director's office and a lot of radio stations at the time was a DAT player on record.
Oh.
And when the program director would get the call from the front desk that record company executive so-and-so is here, the program director would go, okay, hang on, press record on a 90-minute DAT tape behind the stereo system. And then the record company guy would come in and go, hey man, I got the new Van Halen single. You want to hear it? We're like, oh sure, we'd love to hear it. And they pop it right into the CD player and hit play. And we'd listen to it and we'd be like, oh yeah. And then, 10 minutes after he was out the room, it was loaded into a system or burnt onto a CD.
Wow.
And it was being played. Well, we were already playing Without You, the full 6-minute version of it, for like a week. And this guy comes in and he goes, I'm gonna let you listen to it on my Discman. So the program director's sitting in the office, and I was a music director at the time, and I've got the headphones on and I'm tapping my feet like I've never heard the song. and we're just listening to it. I go, wow, that was awesome. And I give it to the program director. And the program director puts it on his head and he listens to it. He goes, oh yeah, we're gonna add this record right out of the box as soon as it comes out. That'll be great. And stuff. So he leaves. 24 hours later, we get a cease and desist from Warner Brothers Records and a phone call. He's like, you assholes, you've been playing the record for 6 days and you sat there and made me look like a fool. And our response was, hey man, if you're not monitoring your own radio station, that's on you. Because here's how it used to happen. We would get a CD sent to us. They would overnight it to us. And that was
it's the date, not before 7 a.m.
That was the date, not before 7 a.m. that morning. And they trusted us. And they trusted us. That's literally probably the rarest Van Halen piece I have, because it wasn't even pressed as a promo single.
Fucking awesome.
They literally sent us a CDR and said, here it is. You can have it before everybody else. And we had it for like a week. And they put the date on it and we honored it. That's how radio stations get stuff in advance. So we had Van Halen's a different kind of truth in advance. Sometimes you get them weeks in advance. Sometimes you get them 24 hours in advance. And it's just out of respect, out of professional courtesy, that we don't play them. In the Van Halen 3 situation, we had no professional courtesy. And that trick with the DAT player happened at radio stations. That's how leaks happen. That's how, when a record comes in, when so-and-so band comes in, or record rep comes in and says, hey, we're going to play you the new so-and-so record in your office. That's why they started flying people down into hotels and stuff, because they could control the flow of the music. Because they would take that record, they would play it in a program director's office from start to finish. The DAT player would be rolling. Suddenly that DAT would be duplicated, and every radio station in your company would have a copy of the record. That's how leaks happened. Or you're at one of those situations where you're in Henson Studios and Bob Rock is playing the new Cult record, and one of the other studios is wired in, and one of those outputs, those stereo outputs, the masters, are wired into a centralized network so that you can link to another studio in case you've got something else recording in there. And somebody goes into the other studio, they hit the digital recorder, they bring that fader up from another studio. Most leaks come from inside. They come from inside the band, inside the management company, inside the record company. That's how it happens. It's really not what Lars thought, where they were getting put up on Napster. Eventually, that's where they end up. But most leaks come from inside. They always have, and they always will. Because when it's all said and done, 5 people knew what was going on in that Van Halen record. The 4 guys in the band, and Mike Post or Ted Templeman or whomever was producing the record at that time. Outside of those 5 people, that's where it starts. Somebody plays it for somebody else, somebody tapes it, and it's on its way.
Right.
And it always comes from inside.
It's like handing out a bunch of cocaine. Like, look what I got for you. Hi. Yeah, it's all about who gets the scoop and who can send it to you. So you know. By the way, Without You, I think is a great song, and I've always loved that song. So
it's one of two decent songs on the record. That one and Fire in the Hole.
Yeah, Fire in the Hole, and you know, everything else has like 7 parts, and it's very weird. But that record's awesome. I mean, that song to me,
it's a great song.
Yeah. So
and those are obviously the 2 songs on the record that you could absolutely hear Sammy Hagar singing.
Mm-hmm.
Were probably written with Sammy Hagar in mind.
I was gonna say, yeah. When did he write those? Probably.
Yeah, my guess is when Ray Daniels brought Gary in. I mean, I don't know this to be true because Gary, to his credit, will not speak on this. But my guess is they told him to sing it like Sammy would, because Gary was an employee, and again, to his credit, does nothing, never speaks bad of the experience. But Gary did what he was told. He was an employee and did what he was told to do.
Right. Most of the lyrics on 3 were Eddie. Isn't that true?
Yeah.
So.
And that's why they don't make any sense. Great guitar players are not always great lyricists.
Well, Gary was always a songwriter. I mean, did he write all the lyrics for Extreme, or?
I think he and Nuno collaborated on it. But yeah, Gary's a very well-read individual.
Dude, Nuno's a better singer than Gary.
Nuno can be a better singer than Gary. Yeah.
True. He's got a better voice, in my opinion.
So
like,
he's got a more pure voice.
Gary on 3.
What's that?
Subdued did they make Gary on 3? I mean, was he able to bring stuff to the table?
Yes.
Was he able to bring lyrics? And I mean,
yes.
How much of it came out on the album itself?
I think that things like A Year to the Day have Gary written all over them, because Gary is a theater guy and had already done, Jesus Christ Superstar on Broadway at that point. And I think that A Year to the Day is a very, very Broadway type song. When you listen to the song structure of it, it's something that you could hear in a theater presentation. So I absolutely believe Year to the Day has a lot of Gary on it.
Johnny, is that the original? Unedited picture?
Yeah.
Back, buddy.
That is a cool looking engine, I will say, though. Michael, what did you say it was called?
That looks older than the 50s.
Yeah, no, this is that's a 464 locomotive, actually.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So when was this taken? When do you think this picture was from?
That has to be from I'm going to guess the 30s or 40s.
Yeah, I'm thinking late 30s.
Yeah, because it's a steam locomotive. You can see the pistons on there.
There's more.
What does it say? New York Central.
That looks like late 30s, early 40s.
1927, 1950.
That's what I think.
It's an Alco, which means an American Locomotive Company. That's all that means.
That streamlined look, man.
Yeah.
What's everybody's favorite song on Adcut? In the chat too.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, look how old these people look.
I say Stay Frosty because of the solo.
You know what? I like Stay Frosty because it sounds the most like Van Halen to me.
I'm a big fan of Blood and Fire.
Mm.
Yeah, Blood and Fire. She's the one. I like She's the Woman. I still like that.
She's the woman.
I think one of my favorites is
That's class. To me, that's kind of the callback to a really classic Van Halen.
Out of Space is a good one too.
Oh, that's another. God, man, that's a great album, man.
And of course, Honey Baby Sweetie Doll, I think, is so different.
Yeah.
Than anything they've ever done.
And before he comes in on the solo,
like
how heavy that is. Just before the solo comes in, man.
I think Chinatown was like the Wolf and Ed collaboration to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of my favorites is I had to hear the song in my head just to get the title. You and Your Blues.
Great song.
I think for me that's one of my favorites, because to me that one sounds very like everything else. Like you guys are saying, we all, as super fans of super nerds, we pretty much already heard everything else almost.
Right.
You know, because of bootlegs and demos and stuff. But You and Your Blues was something that was totally brand new to me, at least.
Yeah,
And
as is.
I got to tell you, I think that overall on the record, Dave's lyric writing is phenomenal.
Yes.
I mean, even
Great point. That's a good point.
as goofy as we, and it's funny because Renus Pinkel is bringing it up. As goofy as we think Tattoo is, the lyrics in that song are fucking fantastic. I mean, Mousewife to Momshell in the time it took to get that. I mean, that's beautiful.
That is awesome.
Mousewife to Momshell.
He was waiting 25 years to write that record.
Oh, I mean, I mean, just that, and Elvis on my elbow.
Well, it does pick off. I mean,
it
is.
Yeah,
it's very 1984-esque. It could fit on 1984, I would think.
No, I mean, it's just so
back in that.
The lyrics are fantastic. Outside of told you I was coming back, and look at all the people here tonight. I mean, we can do it without those.
Yeah. Yes, that's the part of that bugs me the most, and the actual chorus is a little weird for me. But
yeah,
I mean, I remember the song from the Wildlife soundtrack. Right. And I actually remember it from the Ripley demo in the Kramer booth, because they had the Ripley guitar, but they wanted you to hear it being played. So you put on headphones at the booth. This is 1987 or something. Yeah, 87 or 86 maybe, when the Ripley guitar came out. And you put on the headphones and you push play of the cassette that was in there, and it was the Ripley song with Eddie playing it, and you could hear, the song.
Oh, it was an actual
track
with Ed on it.
Yes, wow. It was.
Yeah, I have Ripley. I have the demo here somewhere.
Yes, it was that, and so I'd heard that, in the Kramer booth, and in the mid '80s. So to hear that song as a song was cool, but I really wanted to hear.
That's where you plug in the little DAT player.
Yeah, I wanted to hear more of, of the guitar. I feel like the lyrics kind of and the melodies kind of killed the guitar a lot in that song. So
I also think the record is very well sequenced, and for people that are in the chat that have never made a record or understood the sequencing of a record, can give you the vibe of listening to something all the way through. That's for those of us that like to listen to an entire album all the way through. When you hear that acoustic guitar come in, the little almost sounds like a ukulele at the beginning of Stay Frosty. You thought you'd heard everything in the record, and then you hear that thing come in and you're like, oh yeah, like you just knew. It was so like, as I
Dave
said,
play on that?
Yes.
Did Dave play on?
That's Dave.
And that's the thing. Dave is a pretty acceptable guitar player, all things considered. That's one of the people forget.
Sure.
He's a pretty good
I was surprised
musician.
when I first saw him playing. Yeah.
He's well read, obviously speaks several languages, is multiple disciplines in martial arts. The guy is a renaissance.
He's
man
an artist too.
Bottom.
Look at all the drawings.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
I love his art. His art is great, Johnny. That's another thing we could talk about.
He was a musician back in
beautiful.
the 70s. He played guitar, and he had a very well versed knowledge in music. He went to music classes. He studied music. He knew theory. Yeah. He's not just a guy who strums. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, right. And that's the thing that again, when we talked about who was in control of the record, obviously his lyric writing, he knew he had to deliver, and the sequencing of the record, I bet he had a lot to do with. I mean, obviously when you watch the Downtown sessions, the interviews and all this stuff, Dave is doing all of that. Dave is setting all that stuff. I mean, he really was. Yeah. He really was. I think Eddie was just like, hey man, I get to play with my kid. I'm good. The rest of it,
the release,
want to handle the business. Handle the business.
I mean, Eddie gave up his ultimate power, which is we're doing this at 5150. They didn't do any of it at 5150.
All at Henson, because that's Dave. That was Dave's place.
Exactly. So Eddie was literally just a player on the record. And
I had a blast going to that show, that Henson show. It was fucking awesome. Just what a great time.
I bet.
And it was like it was. I don't know if anybody did you get to go, Caleb?
No.
All right. So when they came out, they had a show. I have pictures somewhere. I think they're on my Facebook page. They came out with like a drum line of women in like flamenco.
Yeah.
It was phenomenal. And they had the big screen behind them.
We saw some of that. We showed pictures of some of that one night.
Yeah, I have pictures of. I'll send them over to you. If you go to my Facebook page, I think I still have a section of those pictures up there, and maybe even some video. Because I basically spent the night calling the radio station and just holding up my cell phone so that everybody could hear what was going on. And it was, and we saw everybody who is everybody in LA music.
I wish I was there, man. That's for sure.
It was pretty cool. But it was like they had taken over that studio. It was a residency. Everything was locked down and it was all Van Halenized.
Well, weren't they? They were rehearsing the tour in that studio.
Yes.
So
everything, because it was a good sized stage. It's a good sized stage, and the way it was laid
that's
out.
what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Did they record the? I mean, I know it's a sound stage. Was there? The
there's
recording
several
studio
studios. There's several studios on. There's several studios on lot, and they recorded that record on that lot.
Yeah. It was.
Then they did the tour rehearsals in the first show at the big,
in the big room.
Stage,
they did the big room. They set up their tour setup in the big room and ran it, and instead of the Forum like they did in 2007.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the idea that Eddie would surrender all of that because Dave wanted to bring the big production. Knew that if they were going to do it, they had to do it big. Because if they didn't do it, because they had fallen on their face on VH3, people were thinking the band was burnt out, that it was never going to happen, that this thing, and as has always been the case, Dave brought the big show. For all of his the lacking of vocal talent and all of the annoyance of David Lee Roth 24/7, because nobody can be like that 24/7 except him. At some point, you sit back and go, there are certain things that he does better than anybody before him and anybody since. Let him do his thing.
Right. The if he only could surgically repair his voice, that's that. I mean, which can't be done, but that's really what's missing from Dave.
But that happens to all of those guys. When he was courting his voice, all those guys that sang like that: Brian Johnson, Ian Gillan, Tom Kiefer, Axl Rose, all those guys that did that high-pitched screaming falsetto lost an octave plus in their voice, tore it all up, because
ripping up your vocal cords, man.
Yeah, you scar your vocal cords. What happens is your vocal cords when you sing. I don't know if anybody is a singer, but I had to go to a therapist for it.
They're like teeth. Yeah, they're like teeth, and you knock out teeth. You're literally knocking teeth out of your mouth.
Or you build up scar tissue like muscle. Like when you're muscle, you build up scar tissue, and they do this. And the scar tissue allows for air to come through multiple ports.
That looks hot.
That looks pretty nice. I like that.
Yeah,
Go to the microphone.
Yeah.
But you get those multiple, and that's where you get those multiple tones. And that David Lee Roth scream is a vocal cord that has that high semitone and the low semitone that creates that beautiful, unique scream that only David Lee Roth and Ian Gillan were able to master. Unfortunately, every time they did it was like taking a cheese grater to your vocal cords.
Yep.
And it's beautiful. It's a great trick, but you can only do it for so long. And that's why guys like Steven Tyler had to learn how to sing. He had to completely retrain his voice.
Which was amazing.
He did it too.
But he made his voice better.
Yeah.
Because he was so throaty and in the early days, you're like, wow, that's the same guy. And then he actually became a singer.
Well, listen to the end of Draw the Line when they come out of that guitar solo and Draw the Line, and he's screeching like that. That screwed his voice up for years. He went to a guy named Mark Baxter, who's a vocal therapist in the Boston area, that I think Gary has also gone to as well, who specializes in helping guys retrain their voice. And Tyler is a better singer today than he ever was when Aerosmith were in their first heyday.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember hearing some of that older Aerosmith, obviously after, hearing, I guess, their more popular stuff growing up. And then hearing back, I'm like, they had a different singer? Like, it sounds like a totally different dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he sang way up here.
Very
didn't know how to sing.
Distinctly different.
He didn't use his chest, Yeah.
Or sing from his diaphragm.
That part, too, yeah.
I didn't even know you could do that.
Can I kiss you on the veranda?
No, lips will be fine.
Yeah.
Would you like to kiss me? Yes, I would. On the veranda? No, lips will be fine.
Kiss me, Ace.
Ace always wants to kiss. Ace is a good boy.
I might meet Ace.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
I
You probably won't because he'll eat you.
Oh,
He's
shit, really?
Yeah, he's very. If you come over, I'll have him in the crate.
Oh, really? He's that gnarly?
He's not very well social.
Oh.
See those teeth? Those teeth.
He was a rescue dog. He was a rescue dog. He went through some stuff, didn't he?
Yeah, he's been through some stuff. So he he's good with me most of the time. But he will nip out of fear.
I'm an intruder.
Yeah, he won't do it out of aggression. He does it out of fear. If you move quickly, he snaps.
Those teeth will be in that ass.
That ass.
Stay away from the hands.
You can do it without an ass cheek. You need your hand.
You better walk in backwards.
Yeah, you have to come in with boxing gloves on.
Yeah, right.
Because he'll take it. He'll take it.
Sadly, I'd like to say my parents had to put down their dog this week. Gracie. I'd like to say Gracie was a rescue.
That's the
She was
worst.
10 years.
Thanks, Gracie.
10 years old when they got her. She was with a family for 10 years. I guess she snapped at one of the children, and they had to. It was either put her down at that time or put her up for
adoption.
To the family. And my parents took her in, and she was a wonderful. And it was just a kind of a one-time thing. Unfortunately, for the other family, it didn't work out. But my parents, were able to give her a couple of good years, for the end. And so, unfortunately, Gracie, goodbye. It was
that sucks.
She was a wonderful.
That sucks so much.
Wonderful pup.
He's a good boy.
Look at that face.
And it's terrible. It's hard for my dad. And he I guess it was probably a few years ago. He had to say goodbye to his other golden Ruby, who passed away, and so I don't know if he's going to be getting any other dogs anytime soon. It's just too hard for them, It's too hard to see them go,
Well, how old are your parents?
To that point, they're in their 70s. So
yeah, so I mean, if they get a dog, it's a 10-year commitment. If they get a younger dog,
if they get a dog,
right.
It's gonna be your dog.
So yeah, I mean, and I'd certainly take it on, but it's so emotional, when it comes that time. Johnny knows. You guys, you all know. Michael knows.
Yeah,
I gotta tell you guys, man.
I've been through it.
I've had at least one dog in my house since I can remember as a kid, and I couldn't imagine. I remember when Jeannie and I moved down here in November of 2010. We couldn't do it without a dog. Like, it just didn't feel like a house doesn't feel like a home.
Yeah,
without a dog, in my opinion.
Sure.
That's just me.
I agree.
I couldn't imagine. It was like, I feel, this is my personal opinion. Every time we lost a dog growing up, as soon as the dog was gone, obviously you grieve and stuff, but it just didn't feel right without a dog there. And you don't get another dog to replace the one you had.
No.
That's how it goes.
Sure.
But it fills that void.
It's life. There's a life thing you can't get from a human
it
with a
takes
dog.
time to get over it. But yeah, then there is that void. And,
that unconditional love that they give is second to none.
I didn't get him for me. I got him for Lemmy, because Lemmy, when the dog before him, Hoagie, passed, she's dog dependent. She's had Hoagie around for like 3-4 years.
Yep.
So every time I would come home from work, she would look around me to see where Hoagie was, because I would take him out for a walk, and then when I'd come home, they'd run around the house and stuff together. So she would look behind me, and
that's
after
the saddest thing.
After about 3 or 4 days, she would just lay down and
they
just
don't
look,
know.
and she was miserable. And so it took me, I don't know, it took me 3 weeks, and I was like, okay, screw it, I got to find another dog. But I had to find another dog whose personality was similar to Hoagie's. Hoagie wasn't a fear biter, but he was certainly this kind of energetic. And that's what she's used to. She's used to having that around the house. So I got him for her. Once you've had 2 dogs in the house, after what Jay was saying, after having a dog in the house, your house isn't a home. Once you've had 2 dogs, going back to 1 is a pain in the ass.
I've had 2 dogs now for going on 15 years. And they're social animals, just like we are, right? So when you go to work, if you have one dog, okay, he'll get along. But if you have two dogs together, like you were just saying, the one passes, they go crazy, because now they're by themselves, and they're never by themselves. They have another dog. So,
how you doing, Johnny?
I'm good. Hey, good night, Metalhead Hippie.
Good night, man.
Good night, dude. And yeah. As far as dogs, I've always had dogs. Although Howie the Dalmatian was the first dog I ever had, where he was actually like
yours.
Mine. Every other dog was like a family dog with my family, and those dogs usually ended up hating me at some point. They always tried to bite. They always tried to bite me all the time.
What'd you do? What'd you
Nothing.
He's eating their food, dude. He's eating their food.
I had dogs that
on their food, dude.
We had a dog that would attack me every time for years, and I'd have to sneak around the house,
Sneak around his own house.
Oh yeah. Goodness. Yeah.
Wow.
So I never had a real dog until I had Howie, and then Howie was amazing. I mean, you all know.
Oh yeah.
Everybody knows Howie. He's on the channel here.
Wow.
He has a playlist. This channel is here because of Howie.
How long's it been now?
When
was that?
When
How long has he been gone?
A year anyway, at least, right?
No, it's only been like a few months.
Been a year, no.
It happened right before this whole thing happened with the quarantine.
Oh, this year?
Really? It happened this year.
It might have been.
I thought it was around Christmas time.
Jumbio.
Before Christmas.
Yeah.
Wait, hang on.
I was saying it was last summer. I thought it was like last summer.
December.
Yeah,
Ask your wife.
December.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Look at that.
December. So it was December. But yeah, I'm glad
this last 6 months has been like a year unto itself.
The last 3 months has been like 10 years.
Oh yeah, it was like what are we on March? It's March 97th or something.
Yeah. I told you guys the other night. I have memories of going to the store, and it's like, it feels like, was that last week? No, that was 4 months ago. It's like every day is the same.
Yeah.
But no, as far as having an animal. I miss Howie. I think about him every day. Of course, he has pages. He has a Twitter. He has Facebook. He has Instagram. All that stuff. But I'm so glad that we got Ned, and that Ned knew Howie. Ned loved Howie. If you guys watched any of the videos with Ned and Howie together, you would see that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Ned was kind of the bridge.
I never had an indoor cat. I had outdoor cats that came with the house here, and they're both gone. They were both they're both gone now. But so I was never a cat person, but now I wake up every day and I'm like hugging Ned, and I'm like Ned's amazing. I love Ned.
Here's a question. It's kind of morbid, but has anybody ever had a dog that had actually passed and you didn't have to put down?
Yes.
Yeah,
wow.
I came home. I was a kid. This was horrible. I was a kid living in Dorchester, Massachusetts, which is where the new kids are from. Don't damn me for that. And my dog,
Hang tough.
Chooch was her name. She was a little like a toy poodle. It was my mom's dog, but it was, my dog. I think it was 12 or 13, came home, and Chooch was up on a chair sleeping, or so I thought. A couple hours go by, Chooch hasn't moved.
Ooh.
So I walked over and I went to pet Chooch to wake her up, and she was stiff. She had died while I was at school. So I freaked out. I mean, I'm like 12. So I cry. I call my mother at work. She worked at Boston City Hospital at the time. So I call my mom. I go, this is what happened. She goes, all right, don't touch her, blah, blah, blah. I'll get it taken care of. And literally somebody from the city of Boston showed up with a garbage bag.
Oh,
And they put the dog in the garbage bag and brought the dog downstairs, and I looked out the window to see what was happening, and they basically took the garbage bag and threw it in the back of a fucking dump truck.
Oof.
And that's a horrible thing for a kid to see.
Did you have like a property where you could have buried Chooch?
No, we were renting. We rented in a it was like a second
How
floor
old?
apartment.
12.
Like 12.
gee,
Yeah, like 12.
oh my God.
So at that point, that was the only time that's ever happened to me, to come home to see a dog dead. And then Hoagie, I had to put down. He got really, really sick and was basically laying at the bottom of the bed, breathing heavily. And he stopped taking water and food. And it was like, okay, I knew it was time to take him in.
Wow.
So that sucked.
They
yeah,
know too, man. They fucking know.
Well, here's the thing. Lemmy knew that Hoagie was dying because she left the room and wouldn't go in while he was in there. She left him knowing that he was dying. It was a very strange thing. And,
How
and
about
funny,
yeah, some of the dogs they you know, I used to live in Connecticut. It was kind of a country area. Some dogs would just bail and go away,
run away and go to die. My
Yeah.
cat did that. One of my cats did that. He went in.
Cats we had cats that do that. Yeah. Sure.
Like the thing
Some
is,
that
with
you
all
just never find, you never see them again.
Yep.
you said you don't buy a dog, you don't get a dog to replace another dog. But the funny thing about it is the dog chain continues. My first dog, Bruin, I had for a long time. I had him for like 8 or 9 years, and then decided to get a second dog, Hoagie. Bruin passed. Hoagie was still around. I got Lil, who was another dog. Hoagie outlasted Lil. She was older and female, so she died. So Hoagie, then we but got Lemmy, and then Hoagie died, and I got Ace. So it's like there's like this continuation. It's almost like every new dog honors the dog that came before them, and I continue. So this will be the last. When Lemmy passes, and I hope that's no time soon, that will be the last dog that is associated with my ex-wife, my marriage. So that's like a phase of my life that will go away when Lemmy passes. All the dogs that I had as an adult, I had when I was married. She's the last of what's left over. So, and I'm not in a hurry for her to go away. You know what I mean?
The dog.
I'm surprised. I was actually surprised that my ex-wife, who is a lovely woman, and I wish her the best, but I was surprised when my ex-wife left and didn't take the dogs, because that was like one of the excuses she had for staying in the marriage was, I didn't want to give you the dogs. I'm like, that's a great reason. Thank you.
Well, that was my sister and her ex-husband. It was the dog. The dog actually chose which one she wanted to go with. The dog. I mean, my father and my sister were packed up and ready to take my sister, back home.
Ouch.
And the dog who was his to begin with, the dog was, and he said, "Okay, take her." I keep saying her.
Wow.
So
that's the part. That's the scene in the movie where
he realized that, that's the best. Yeah, right.
And these dogs got me through the divorce, because that's a shit thing to go through. Dogs they have a healing quality to them. There's something real
100%.
Yeah, there's something real healing. Especially Michael. We've talked
since we're sharing everything else.
You what?
Nothing. I was jokingly saying, let's get into the details about that, since we're just talking about everything else.
This is why the Saturday show is the best show, by the way, folks. Because we can talk about anything.
We get into it, the drama. I mean, this is real life stuff here, folks.
Go ahead, Jay. Grab your guitar.
No, let's talk about guitars.
So I can make everybody laugh.
And music.
Wow. Tonight has flown by. I can't believe it.
I got the blues.
I dare you.
He's looking right at me. Look at him.
I want to go outside. Gotta
Take yourself, shit.
Hey,
But I gotta wear a mask.
Captain Smith,
Eat some grass.
Wait, we should do Country Cowboy.
And smell some of the dog.
do Country Cowboy.
I got the blues.
God damn it, let's do Country Cowboy. Come on.
What's Country Cowboy?
I don't know what the fuck that is.
You play a riff on the guitar, someone comes up with a line.
Yeah.
Play the riff again, then the next person, then the next person, then the next.
I was just waxing poetic about the dog sniffing another dog's ass.
There you go.
Johnny goes first.
Johnny, you're first.
I have to use the bathroom.
Okay,
that's good.
Well, that's the start.
John BL. John BL.
John BL.
Oh, he's gone.
He's got his Steinberger.
I'm tuning my cigar guitar. Cigar box. I don't know how to do it. I guess GDAG.
Sometimes here.
Wait, who's next?
Well, you got to play it.
It was Jay.
It should be. I think Jay's talking about doing the Donna.
Johnny's. Go ahead, do it again.
Do it again, yeah.
It's Straturday Night Live.
It's me. And I'm out of a drink.
But let me tell you, man.
You gotta watch the screen.
John BL's out.
Trying to just hit that.
Ace has decided he's singing along.
Exactly. And he's making more sense than any of us.
Oh,
there we go.
Oh, you're jamming.
Right. That's what we're talking about.
Nice.
I can hit the A. Let's get another note.
What do you
give me another note?
Hit the A. What's the A, man? What are you talking about?
The A.
Hit that A.
Yo, boy, she likes it in the A.
More A. More.
What I love is
Are you going to be deep in that A?
what I love is the two worst guitar players in this show are doing the music.
I can play a couple notes and improve with it.
What are you playing, John? What is that?
Cigar box. Play Summer Nights on that thing. Play Summer Nights. Let's go.
Oh, absolutely.
Somebody started, right? 20th.
What key is that in?
It's in the trunk key.
Do some get up.
I know that's all like tremolo, so you could probably play that on slide.
Yeah,
somebody wants to play to do it. Good play.
People want to hear a song in the A.
No, he's like, someone say D in the A. It's like his ears pricked up.
Everything
D in the A.
A stands for Amanda. So
Commander.
A D and the A and a pair of T's.
yeah, geez.
Nice.
You guys.
I hope I
Put
marked
a
this.
microphone in front of that thing. You can't hear it, John. I don't have a slide.
It's as close as I can get it.
Oh,
That's what she said.
Actually, I do have a slide.
You got to play along with something. You can't. I'm not a
Dude, F
slide player.
that D in the A. Come on.
here, play along with this.
Everything sounds flat and sharp.
Yeah. Exactly.
Here, I'll play with Kenny Wayne Shepherd's slide.
Lonely ships upon
there you go, look at that.
the wall.
That hit?
There's Kenny Wayne Shepherd's slide.
Cool. Here we go.
I don't know if I can play.
I know. I really want to.
Can't do get up with it. It doesn't really work the same. We won't do that.
I think only one of us should play at a time.
So whose turn was it?
It was John.
John BL's turn?
John BL, yeah. Let's go for John.
So now you got to start it. That's the hardest
part. John.
I'm trying to trying to remember.
John, all you have to do is say "woke up this morning."
Pick up a word. You can go. Yeah.
Woke up this morning.
Woke up this morning.
There you go.
I got my.
Wait. Come on, man. Were you not paying?
Now he's hogging.
Yeah. You don't get 2 lines in a row.
He's not saying nothing. He wants to sing the whole freaking song.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't,
All right. So let's start it again. For crying out loud.
One line. Well, you have to start it. Woke up this morning.
No, you don't have
That's
to
how you have to
start. And I look.
That's just an easy way to start.
But who's going? What's the order?
The order of the screen.
From which way?
Okay, we'll go with John to Paul to Jay to me to Caleb.
I think Paul should do the first line. He's playing the guitar.
Okay, Paul, you start then.
It doesn't have to be.
I'm butchering a song.
Oh, me next.
Yeah.
I'm butchering a song, dude. Oh, somebody plugged in. Johnny's plugged in.
Oh, okay.
Well, if that's the case, then I'll go grab an acoustic bass and we can play.
Don't tune out loud.
I have a feeling that Caleb is getting ready to plug in.
Oh, it's good. Caleb will do it. Good. Somebody else can do it.
No, it's fine the way it is. It actually works. Come on. God damn it.
Oh, don't put the guitar down. Come on, dude.
No, somebody who can play is going to play now.
Yeah, but this is like it adds the character to it.
Man, everyone's arguing. Stop arguing.
It makes it more fun.
Yoko.
Like that.
You sons of bitches.
See now where's the kid that was trying to start a band?
Oh, he's gone.
This is exactly what we were talking about 3 hours ago about starting a band.
I called up the professor. I'm like, I want to learn math. Screw this shit.
There he goes.
There we go. Oh, look at
There we go. There we go.
Let's get the real guitar player. Here we go.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah.
Although we can't see the neck. We can't see the neck of the guitar.
See, this is the good part because we're not going to be playing anything that is copyrighted.
All right, so who's starting it?
Well, we're gonna follow Halen if anything. Paul and I can't leave.
All right, so you got to go first since you have the guitar. You got to go first.
Yeah. Then
You're next.
Johnny.
As soon as he did that, I was like,
It's Straturday night.
Johnny Beane.
You know what I mean?
we're butchering the blues.
Come on, so we got to make this work. Come on.
Well, we don't know what the order is yet, and Johnny's not participating.
Aren't we all in the same order? I mean, don't we all say the same thing?
Guys, Caleb started, and then we go up to you, and we're gonna go around like this.
You mean the other way?
The other way. Whatever.
Saturday night.
So it goes from Caleb up to me, and then
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
fine.
okay.
It's Straturday night. Oh my
Playing
god.
guitar.
Nobody has any words. This was a good idea. This was a good idea.
All right, you play the riff. I'll go first.
I was thinking
riff, I'll
I
go
live
first.
on the islands on a
Michael
good
Smith, you
summer
get ready.
night.
Michael Smith, you get ready.
But you got women's on your mind.
Michael Smith in Facebook jail.
Without any bail.
He put pornographic images on the internet.
Why did you jump on me, dude?
I don't know.
How does it go to you next, Paul?
I don't fucking know. You go. Start it. All right.
Oh, Straturday night.
My mistake.
It goes you, then you, then you. Okay.
All right.
Who's on?
Who the fuck's dog is that?
Whose dog is that?
Whose dog is that?
Is that really happening?
No. It's Johnny Beane.
That dog sounds. This thing doesn't want to.
Skip ahead a few minutes if you're just listening to the audio
That's what tuning out loud sounds like to me.
That is awesome.
All right. Go ahead, Caleb. My baby's on the corner and she's looking so fine. One together and there we go. I'll catch you on the one. Well, my baby's on the corner and she's looking so fine. One together and it blew my mind. Man needs love to live. I'm the living proof. Catch that smile and I hit the roof. Big double take, but she keeps on walking. I'm in love. Once over, I'm overdone. So this is love. Ooh, I need your loving. Come on, baby, check me out. Somebody else?
Oh, this is love. Why from above?
This is love.
So this is love.
Hey, Paul, that wasn't half bad, man.
Yeah, that's what I used to do.
I practiced all week for tonight. So thank you.
I've said before we should all get guitars out and try to do a tune. And this is what happens.
Well, now you see what happens. Yeah, you see what happens when we try.
Careful what you wish for.
Know my way around. Grass is never greener and there's plenty around.
Just be mad at Caleb.
Put to shame.
Oh God.
There you go.
Yeah!
What the bloody hell was that?
Oh, I need some Limp Biscuit. Yes.
Yeah, Limp Biscuit. There we go.
What's a limp biscuit?
What's a Limp Biscuit? Ask Fred Durst.
Does a biscuit ever go limp?
Not with Carmen Electra. Let's just listen to John BL. Let's go. Isolate.
Yep. Go ahead.
Yeah, you know what I'm doing. Can you even hear it?
Yes.
I need Brendan's guitar. Cigar box. He's the one who makes it. Likes.
Wow. And this is what happens when you get your first internet show.
This is what happens when you start a band at 15.
Yes, this is exactly what it was like.
Well, you know, we wanted to make it realistic, right?
Serenade the audience out to the end of the show.
Caleb, give me could this be magic?
Oh, I don't know it.
Ah,
Sorry.
dumber.
What about
Bottoms up.
Brian Spalding said,
Come on.
"Yeah, you guys should do this at the end of every show." End of every show.
This is the end of every show.
Wait, Johnny's doing Intruder. Hang on.
Johnny's beating his.
let's hear the strings. Let's hear the back strings, Johnny.
There you go.
Hey. That tone, wonderful. Can't replicate that.
Hey, stop that! Somebody sounded like they're in tune. Stop You guys are ruining it now. You're playing in tune.
Hey, Caleb, can you take your whiskey home?
Robert Masterson said Johnny Beane. Well, now hold on. Clearly, we're all easily entertained.
No, I don't know it. Honestly, I don't.
Such a great tune.
I'm trying to think of stuff that you can do. That's in a simple rhyme. That's a totally different song.
I'm playing. I know that's what I just learned it last week.
Spanish Fly.
Amanda, you got to jump into the Discord.
Here we go.
The Discord is happening now, Amanda. You got to jump over there.
Oh yeah.
Michael Smith and I, yeah, we're leveling up.
Here we go.
I just added the mumble.
It's hard without a pick.
Mumble.
Yeah.
We all know the mumble.
Yeah, jump over there.
Oh. My earpiece. Yeah. It's hard on this.
That's what she said.
Yes.
Sorry, I got it, Caleb. I got it.
I got it.
Are you thinking?
I know the end.
Wow, you got the left. There you go.
All right, everyone having fun?
Good.
I'm having fun. I don't know about anybody else. Well, we got 59 people watching right now, so somebody's having fun.
Yeah, Amanda, do some more screen caps. We got the screen cap section over there in the Discord.
She knew better.
Look at that.
Wanted her tonight, but it was now or never. So sad.
Well, wait, think again.
Will you give me reverb?
It sounded like you were singing in the Grand Canyon.
Automated reverb.
Oh, Jamie's crying. He said, give me a call sometime.
But I know she can get better.
Oh, Jamie is crying. Oh, Jamie is crying. Been in love before, and she knows what love is for. Jamie is crying.
Earliest memories I have of that song or of my brother beating me up in the back seat because his name was Jamie. Well, James, but we called him Jamie. And when that song was played in the back seat one day, oh, Jamie's crying, whooped the shit out of me. He used to punch me in, and if anybody has an older brother out there, they'll know what I'm talking about. He used to get punched right up here, like right under your shoulder, right here.
Yeah.
Charlie.
If you've ever had a big brother, this is the spot right here.
Yeah.
Between the deltoid and the bicep, right there. And you get like one of these kind of punches with the
knuckle.
With the noogie. Yeah, the noogie.
Point.
Yeah.
Right there. That's called having a big brother.
Yep. Oh, you think it's fun, Jason?
I don't want one now. Then I'm good.
Yeah, too late.
I'm just gonna punch the fuck out of you next time I see you, Johnny, just because it's cool. Please. One of these.
I'll see you in the Discord, man.
Here we go.
I'm gonna level up you in the Discord.
Oh, Steve Carmichael.
Steve
Carmichael.
Steve Carmichael.
Johnny, send me a piece of that.
Awesome, right. Steve.
Venmo me that, a piece of that.
There we go. Although Google takes like 30% of that.
Oh, fucking Google.
Hey, Kevin Bethel has a Van Halen question. Says, who do you guys think has the best Van Halen guitar out of all of you six?
What?
I think Eddie has the best Van Halen guitar.
Oh, by the way, I was going to tell, since Paul's a collector, do you know Chris Hubbard?
I don't know him personally, no.
But he's selling a bunch of his Roth era striped.
Yeah, I saw him, yeah.
And including the double neck Kramer. And I thought someone like you might want to have that one.
Yeah, I should actually ask him. I should reach out to him and ask him what he's looking for that, because that would be a cool one. I don't own a double neck.
Yeah, that thing's sick.
That'd be a great one to have.
You got a double neck.
Why is he getting rid of? I mean, maybe this isn't a topic for.
No, he's funding another acquisition, and he's going to rebuild them all again in a couple of years. He said.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I of all those, I saw
pretty
that.
much every single
obviously,
one, right?
the double neck would be sick to have, but I really like the '84 stripe pattern.
He's selling that.
There's something, there's something about that.
Today, I saw that earlier.
I like the little guitar too. I think his little guitar is nice.
Mm-hmm.
The Les Paul or the
was he asking who has out of us who has the best Van Halen guitar? Well, it's not me. I'm out of
probably
the question.
Michael. Michael's got the collection. Johnny and
Which type of Van Halen guitar?
I don't have
like a striped one or an Ernie Ball. If we're going Ernie Ball, then I think that Paul has some of the nice Ernie Balls.
I have more of them. Yeah, I have more of them than I think the rest of us.
I've got an Ernie Ball. I've got two striped ones. I've got the Ripley. Michael Smith has my old Wolfgang PV.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Yep, I got that one.
I've got some EVH. All my EVH guitars, they're all mutts. None of them. They're all put together from parts.
Right. Right. My Bumblebee isn't like a shiny one. It's got like a matte finish, and obviously the 5150 I have is silver. It's not red. And then I have that Chemstrat one, which I think is the most creative striped guitar ever, but where it looks like the sky.
Yeah. And then we have the Frankie coming.
We do, don't we, Mike? Yeah.
We do.
It's funny. Your Chemstrat reminds me of this bootleg. You know the one I'm talking about, right? 95 one.
Hmm.
Hang on.
Dreams.
I think it is. What the fuck show is this? I think it's the Florida.
You all right, John?
I have the Star guitar. Metal Soda said there's a Shark guitar.
No, the Shark.
I want to listen.
The one I played at NAMM, Metal Soda, the Shark guitar was great. So I don't own one, and I haven't played one since NAMM. But the one I played when it came, the prototype when it was at the booth was great. It doesn't have a Floyd though. It's really hard for me to invest in a guitar without a Floyd Rose for some reason. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a great guitar. Caleb, we were there together. We played.
We were.
Played that together.
That's what always reminds me of your guitar. Reminds me of that one.
Oh,
Yeah.
I remember that.
Nice.
Let me go get it.
I had that one, dude.
With
Paul, I
chemtrails.
used to have all those, man. Back in the day, I had all of those CDs.
Oh yeah.
There was a shop on Solano Avenue in Berkeley, California here that had all those, and every week I would get a new one. And this was back in the 90s,
Sure.
Yeah, look at that.
Yep.
Yeah.
See, that's always reminds me of that.
Yeah.
Little planes.
What's the deal with those planes? Because I see them all the time. Is it like what's the purpose of?
Well, there's a lot of conspiracies thinking that they're actually spraying stuff in the air. There's been stuff.
Vapor.
Yeah, there's been
It's just vapor.
people claiming like they're trying to slow global warming by creating clouds or create weather systems and stuff like that. Because if you watch the things that are actually being sprayed, because usually a contrail will evaporate like right away. And these things actually stay in the sky and they spread out and they become cloud cover. So, you can make of it what you will. I mean, I used to think, wow, this is crazy what they're doing. And now I just I got to go on with my day. But it is what it is. It is what it is. It happens. So I made this just because one day it was all over the place and it looked like something like this. So I thought I had to make a guitar that had the stripes.
That is badass stuff.
Yeah,
It is.
Yeah, I like when guys
don't forget the jet-
they do their own take on it. Like I always liked Molly. Molly has the first
Yeah, look at that.
monochrome one that I saw.
You're playing. That is awesome.
Yeah, the jet. Yeah, nice.
I'm a conspiracy theory guy with a lot of things. When you look
Yeah.
back and years ago when like all those things got declassified and you found out like what the stuff that was actually true that were technically conspiracy theories. I mean, sometimes you go down this black hole with information and you're like, no way that can be real. And like you said, Caleb, sometimes it's better to just not even think about shit and just go on with your day, because
go on with your day.
You will go down.
Your mind will go crazy. You'll never. And I'm a justice guy, so like I need justice all the time, and so some things I can't make out what they're going on. I have to literally just go. I can't even waste my time, or I'll waste all my time.
Yeah, because at the end of the
It's like
day,
that scene-
if they're doing that, they're not going to stop doing it because you know about it.
Exactly.
It's
just
like that scene in Men in Black where Tommy Lee Jones is explaining to Will Smith, imagine what you'll know tomorrow. Like, people don't need to know. When they find out, if they know, the world will be out of order. If you don't think that Men in Black are real, Men in Black are real. I don't mean Men in Black that are worrying about aliens doing stuff like that, but there are absolutely people whose job it is to make sure that the public doesn't find out things that the public shouldn't find out. That's not a conspiracy theory. That's reality. That's reality. There are things. That's why things are classified, because we don't need to know. And if you spend all of your time worrying about that stuff, you will have a fucking stroke.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the way I look at it, I'm 52 years old. If I'm lucky, I got another 25 years on this rock. I'm not going to worry about whether or not there are aliens or chemtrails in the sky. I've got other shit to do.
Right. There's a lot of my friends who think, everything is conspiracy, and they're wasting their life. They're wasting their time. To me,
even if it is, what are you going to do about it?
Right. Like, I'm like, dude,
Exactly. Yeah.
You think that the conspiracy, if you figured it out and conquered it, is going to give you more time on Earth? No.
Or
It's not.
I knew it.
Imagine
there goes another chemtrail.
Imagine, Caleb, if you were so invested in that stuff that you missed your kid growing up.
Yeah.
Because you were spending so much time in front of the computer researching this shit, or talking to people around the world on the internet trying to figure out
man. There's people.
Oh, I know. Sure. And more power to them. God love them.
Yeah.
Let them have the Flat Earth Society. Let them believe what they want.
Yeah.
Let them have their deal. As long as they're happy in their lives, don't tell me I have to believe what you want, and you don't tell, and we won't do it the other way around. And that's the beautiful thing is we can all agree to disagree, but we can all agree that Van Halen setup behind Caleb is mint.
Yep, the best,
Absolutely.
the peak Van Halen
Mint.
right there, 1981.
Yeah, man.
Mint.
Look at that kit.
There was
When
no
you
need
start-
for any of that, and God
Look
love him
at
for
that
it.
kit.
No,
Fucking
there was
look at
no
that.
need.
I saw that tour. Who else saw it?
I missed. I didn't see a Van. 84 was my
Not
first.
me.
Yeah, that's it. That's 82.
Look at
That's
that.
ridiculous.
John
So
Biel
rad.
sent me
Yeah.
this earlier tonight.
That's the
Yeah. That
that's
is
the shit right
freaking.
there, man.
Look at that thing, man.
So cool.
That's impressive.
Looks like the UFO.
The beautiful
being
thing
the
about
first one
that
to
is
walk into the empty arena, seeing that.
if
Although
all
I
those
think that's the
speakers
end of the
were
show because of
active,
the backdrop.
if all those speakers were active, eyeballs would explode on the first note.
Right. Well, and I
I mean,
believe that backdrop came up like right at the end of the show, I believe.
That's actually not really a great PA system. That's early 80s era. It probably sounded like crap, to be honest with you. You know? I mean, you look at it's before like that the total like, modular Showco kind of stuff. It's like I don't know.
Well, look at the risers on the side. Those are tall. Like I don't remember them being that tall for either 84 or 5150. So
Wouldn't it be nice though if you could see a band run around on stage again? Well, any band now because of everything being shut down. But think about the end of Little Guitars and how much speed everybody on that stage got running in 16 different directions. I mean, it was. I mean, and bands like Rat would do that. Just the amount of space. I mean, I can't imagine playing on a stage that big, much less, running around on it like that. But think about what Angus Young does or what the guys in Van Halen did in their prime, how much running around they did. Imagine being able to do that full sprint and still play a tune in front of 20,000 people digging on it.
Yeah.
There's got to be something. There's an adrenaline rush there that I don't know that anything else can replace.
I think that stage is the same size as the 5150 stage. I mean, it's an arena stage on a hockey rink, so I think it's probably
but those risers,
then you
risers
go
look
bigger
higher.
ones like the US festivals. They do look high, yeah.
The side risers look higher than they were on 84 or 5150, where the stage was very similar.
Yeah.
I love the idea too that you look at the side, the levels of those risers. There's no stepping up there. You're jumping.
Yep.
There's no. It's not like
Well,
you have
yeah,
the
I mean,
ramp.
it-
The ego
you
ramp.
need
that
In
goes
the
You
back
need
section,
momentum.
you can see the
Yeah.
You need momentum
Yeah.
to get up them. Like you can't just like walk up. You have to be running.
Yeah, you're running up them. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's not something that
the
you
other
can
thing.
just sort
There's,
of go and
there's
step
seating
up.
there's seating on the floor. A lot of the 80s arenas, they didn't have seating on the floor. They just had an open floor.
Well, you know
That's
what would
kind of a
happen
rare one, I
though?
would think.
What would happen there?
Probably
Like,
identify which
everyone-
arena that was.
That's Dallas. Everyone would stand on the seats.
Thank you.
Everybody would stand
Oh, sure,
on the actual
eventually,
seat.
yeah.
That's how it would go.
Well, look at Live Without a Net. There were seats for Live Without a Net, and you look at when they're showing kind of the front of the stage, everyone's still packed.
Yeah, all
It's
the seats.
the
The
barrier pretty
seats
much.
came in definitely after the Who 79.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was no more
Just those seating.
empty floors.
Cincinnati.
I mean, there were for stadium shows, but not for like arena shows. They didn't let people,
Right.
push forward in an arena for some, obvious reasons.
There was
Yeah.
still some. I mean, some states I think didn't have like the law where they didn't have the festival seating law, because you could still see some. I think like San Francisco, you watch San Francisco Van Halen in '92.
Oh, they
That
did
would
definitely
see
do
other floors.
GA. They do general admission.
Cow
They
pallets.
They still do it, but a lot of things, especially with arenas, changed after '79.
Yeah, I think it goes state by state or arena to arena. Yeah.
I gotta go.
Okay. Yeah, we should end it.
I'm burnt right now.
I
man.
could go too.
We're good, man.
I think we're good.
I wanted to
Well,
start
guys,
singing
thanks
again.
for a
I
great
thought we were
show.
going to sing again, but
Fun.
whatever.
Well, I mean,
What happened?
you guys don't have to leave.
Oh, I'm done.
No, it's gonna be. It's a 6-way on nothing.
A 6-way, huh?
Ooh,
I need some me time.
I wasn't even going to do the show tonight, but I was like, fuck it.
right. And then you were going to do an abbreviated, and now
Yeah. Well, thank you,
And
everybody.
apparently
in the
Ace is-
chat room.
There we go. Good night, everybody.
Who wants to read it?
Boom, boom. Bye.
Well, thank you to our guest.